From the heart of the Bluegrass, Lexington, Kentucky, today is college football on Sun Sports. The 5th-ranked Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats. And hello again, everybody, and welcome to Gator Football on Sun Sports. Along with Nat Moore, I'm David Steele. Thanks for watching. Florida coming off an emotional win last week against Tennessee. And this is a football team that has a lot going for it right now. Nat, what's the key for the Gators today?
It's to avoid the letdown. Anytime you're sandwiched between two key games like Tennessee last week, Alabama possibly next week, I look for Urban Meyer to have this team fired up. This is their first road game, and I do not expect any kind of letdown today.
All right, well, the Gators suffered a couple of major injuries last week. Ray McDonald on defense and Andre Caldwell on offense. Nat, the Gators need somebody to step up, a playmaker on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, anytime you lose Andre Caldwell, you lose a guy that does so much for your football team. He catches passes. He runs reverses from the slot the way he did against Tennessee for the touchdown. He also returns kicks. But anytime there's an injury, it creates opportunity. This will be an opportunity for Jamal Cornelius to step up and become a big play guy. Last week he had 3 receptions, one of them a 24 reception on 3rd and 11 to keep the drive alive. Last year he got to play, but he only year he's going to get an opportunity.
All right, so it's Cornelius, the man in the spotlight on the offensive side. And as far as Ray McDonald's defensive end position, one of our key storylines today, who is going to play that defensive end spot and play it as well as McDonald? Joe Cohen started at that position a year ago. He's back in the starting lineup today for the Gators. And the Florida running game could have a big day today against the Kentucky defense that gave up over 300 yards rushing a week ago at Indiana. The Gators will have a new kick return man today due to the Caldwell injury. Who will it be, and how will he do? Well, just 2 years ago, young Chris Leak made his collegiate starting debut in the Southeastern Conference against the Kentucky Wildcats, led a big come-from-behind victory. The Gators against the Wildcats today in Lexington. We'll be back in just a moment. Football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Red Baron, the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators, and by Shams, UF and Shams, the science of hope. Welcome back on a warm and muggy late September afternoon in Lexington, Kentucky. The weather feels more like north central Florida weather in late September than north central Kentucky, but Commonwealth Stadium filling up and a nice crowd on hand to watch Urban Meyer's Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats of the University of Kentucky, coached by Rich Brooks. And this Kentucky team embarrassed a week ago against Indiana, while Urban Meyer's Gators were rolling over the Tennessee Volunteers. So a couple of teams apparently headed in opposite directions. There's Brooks, a man who was on the hot seat as the head coach at Kentucky. You see his one-loss percentage in his 3rd year as the head coach at Kentucky. And even at Kentucky, that's not going to be good enough in the long term for a head coach in this environment. So he needs a signature victory, and that certainly would be one today if he could get it against the number 5 ranked Florida Gators. David Steele, Nat Moore, and on the sideline today again, Steve Babbitt. Steve.
Well, Jamel Cornelius will pull double duty in replacing Bubba Caldwell, not only at wide receiver, but on kickoff return. He was the number 2 guy prior to Bubba's injury. He's the number 1 guy. Not much experience, though, just 1 return in his career for 17 yards, and he's replacing a guy that averaged 31 yards per return, so big shoes to fill for Jamel Cornelius. We'll find out real soon how good he is.
Well, we will immediately. As a matter of fact, Kentucky won the toss, but deferred to the second half, so Florida will receive the ball as Taylor Begley, left footer, kicks it high, and it is Cornelius waiting at the 7-yard line. Cornelius with 4.29 speed in the 40, but he never gets going on this return, and Fontaine brings him down. Thomas Ritter with the indication, a hold on the kick return. And so Florida will have poor field position to start the game.
During the return, holding number 13 on the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Well, that's Brian Crum, called for holding on the kick return. And the ball is backed up to the 12-yard line. The Gators heavily penalized a week ago against Tennessee. They're 9th in the conference in penalties 3 weeks into the football season. Chris Leak on first down swings it out to Deshawn Wynn. Wynn breaking through across the 20 and out to the 26-yard line, and picking up a first down is Braxton Kelly, a linebacker, a freshman out of LaGrange, Georgia, made the stop. Let's check out Florida's offense. Wynn, who just made that play, now joined by Cornelius and Jackson at receiver, along with Dallas Baker and the tight end Tate Casey. Mike DeGore, the starting center, making his 42nd consecutive start. And Jim Tart, a redshirt freshman, moves into the starting lineup in place of the injured Tavarius Washington. On first down, Leak pitching on the option. And the Gators get nothing as Chad Jackson is hit and dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Antoine Huffman. And let's check out that Kentucky Wildcat defense. They've gone from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Darrell White is the big playmaker on the front four for the Wildcats. Linebackers led by Wesley Woodyard, Braxton Kelly, a freshman, and Joe Schuler. And the secondary is missing Bo Smith, their best cover guy, out with a shoulder injury. Muhammad Abdullah is an all-conference caliber player at free safety for Kentucky. Second down, a flag is dropped, and the ball is knocked away from Cornelius and incomplete. Linebacker Joe Schuler in man-to-man coverage against the speedy Florida receiver, and he played it perfectly. A sophomore from Evansville, Indiana, number 46 for Kentucky. But there is a flag on the play. And it's going to go against the Gators again. Well, Nat, let's take a look at today's keys to the game, brought to you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Chevy, turn the key, start a revolution.
Well, offensively, what the Gators want to do is get out of here without making any turnovers. Offensively, last year, Chris Leak threw 3 interceptions. Defensively, 3 and out. Let's get the ball back for the offense. For Kentucky, they're looking for big plays. Their receivers, as a group, have been averaging over 20 yards per catch. And defensively, they want to stop Chris Leak. They want to try and disguise their defense and confuse him.
And right now, the crowd is trying to become a factor at Commonwealth on third down and 11 for the Gators. And Wynn is tripped up by Muhammad, the free safety. Smelled that run coming all the way, and the Gators are going to have to punt the ball on their first offensive series. This Kentucky team flat embarrassed at Indiana a week ago and just viscerized in the press here all week long. So they've been reading all this negative stuff, Nat, and they are one fired-up football team as Eric Wilbur prepares to punt it away.
Well, this is a chance to show their fans that they're competitive. You know, they've been trying to fight through several injuries, and in the process...
And they block the punt of Wilbur. And the Wildcats are going to have the football at the Florida 16-yard line. Jacob Tammy is the man who blocked the punt. He blocked one against Louisville in week 1.
He comes right up the middle. 5. He is able to block the kick, but watch the heads-up play by Eric Wilbur to prevent a touchdown. He goes over, he knows his block, he makes the tackle on Jacob Tammy, forcing the ball, knocking it out of bounds. Otherwise, this is a block for a touchdown for the Kentucky Wildcats.
So Tammy comes up with a big special teams play. Special teams, big friend of the Gators last week against Tennessee. But Kentucky comes up big early. Raphael Little to the 10 and the 5, and Little is out of bounds at the Florida 3-yard line, where it will be first and goal for the Wildcats, running the option with quarterback Andre Woodson tossing it to sophomore running back Raphael Little.
And this is just a quick pitch. He's forced to pitch the ball early. He gets it into Raphael Little's hand, and you know, he just turns it up and gets as much as he can before Kyle Jackson knocks him out of bounds.
And it is Woodson bringing the Wildcats to the line of scrimmage. Little, the only setback on first and goal. Little trying to pick his way to the end zone and is tripped up at the 1-yard line. It'll be second down and goal at the Florida 1. Brandon Seiler made the tackle for the Gators, who find themselves with their back to the wall early on. Kentucky's offense led by that sophomore quarterback as Woodson hands off a lot to Raphael Little, the number 2 runner in the conference. And the offensive line, a young offensive line, but improving for the Wildcats. Alexi Bagenge has checked in along with Little. And the Wildcats come with 3 tight ends. At the Florida 1. Hand off to Little. He hurdles in for the touchdown. Anderson, South Carolina, scores his 2nd touchdown run of the year and has given Kentucky a 6-0 lead early.
Well, David, we started the telecast talking about a potential letdown, and Gators get the ball first, not able to do anything, forced to punt the football, gets it blocked on special teams, and then defensively, they're able to move down and score a touchdown.
And Begley's extra point is good. Well, Kentucky takes advantage of a block punt by Jacob Tammy. Raphael Little hurdles over the top of the score, and the Wildcats take an early lead against the 5th-ranked Gators.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton extended cab with an MSRP of $28,880 for a Chevy employee discount price of $21,610 after cash back. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Live this week, Go All Access as Miami invites the Bulls down south. Plus, find out what Urban has in store for the Crimson Tide. Red Warehouse College Kickoff, Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
And it is gone, and the Marlins are down 1-0. Here it comes. The Marlin fans want no part of that one. We're going to send it right back to the outfield.
Tragedy can happen anytime, any place, to anyone. When the winds of disaster fade, one organization is always there. An army of compassion. Help turn tragedy into recovery. 1-800-SALARMY.org.
College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Turn the key, start a revolution. And by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. Raphael Little, the 1-yard touchdown hurdle to give Kentucky a 7-0 lead as the Wildcats make a big play on special teams. Florida with 2 penalties on their first offensive series, and that helped the defense of Kentucky hold the Gators and force them into the punting situation. And then it was the touchdown hurdle by Raphael Little to put the Wildcats on the scoreboard. Set up by this block punt by Jacob Tammy.
And this is Jacob Tammy right there, coming right through the middle. And he just goes unblocked, David. Able to get there and aware. He's tried to make the catch, but a nice job by Eric Wilbur saving the touchdown.
Well, the Wildcats have the crown in it now with a terrific start as Begley's kick is fielded by Cornelius at the 4-yard line. Cornelius to the 20. He tries to turn the corner, but is wrestled down at the 30-yard line by the Wildcats' David Jones, a freshman backup defensive back out of Huddy, Kentucky. And Florida has a much better field position here, just shy of the 30-yard line on their second series of the afternoon. Chris Leak trotting onto the field. He got his first college start here in Lexington 2 years ago and engineered a remarkable fourth-quarter comeback by the Gators and a thrilling victory for Florida against an upset-minded Kentucky team. Deshawn Wynn, the ball carrier, and Wynn hit and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. And the Wildcats force a second down and about 10. Well, immediately following every Gator game, turn to Sun Sports for exclusive post-game coverage presented by Regions Bank. including Coach Meyer's post-game press conference, player interviews, as well as highlights. Gator post-game after the game exclusively on Sun Sports. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Leak looking and firing and overthrows Cornelius, incomplete. And Kentucky had it well covered as Shamari Moore is coming up quickly on Jamal Cornelius. Moore in the starting lineup, a redshirt freshman due to an injury to Bo Smith.
Here's another look at it. Chris Leak has plenty of room to step up and throw the football. It just sails on him as he overshoots a wide open receiver, Jamal Cornelius.
And with the crowd standing and roaring at Commonwealth Stadium, the Gators find themselves in a rather important 3rd and 10 in the first quarter, already trailing 7-0. Leak over the middle. He's got Jackson at midfield. Jackson makes one man, now 2 men miss, and drives forward to the Kentucky 33-yard line. A big play man makes a big 3rd down conversion for the Gators. Wesley Woodyard made the tackle for Kentucky. Jackson averaged 23 yards per catch last year. Not putting up those kinds of numbers yet, but this one will go a long way toward upping that average, Nat. What a terrific run after the catch.
Great run after the catch, but a nice throw. Good job by Jamal Cornelius of clearing that backside corner out of there.
So a big 3rd down conversion by the Gators. Skylar Thornton has checked in. He takes the handoff from Leak and pounds it across the 30 to the 29-yard line. A gain of about 4. And again, the stop made by Woodyard, number 16, the sophomore linebacker from LaGrange, Georgia.
And David, already we see the Gators running receivers in and out. Kenneth Cooks has been in the ball game. Gavin Dickey has been in the ball game. Tate Casey has lined up sometime out wide at a slot position.
And interesting that Skylar Thornton is the first man off the bench at the tailback spot. As Leak takes the snap and throws, it's deflected and incomplete. Should have been intercepted by Huffman. Antoine Huffman, the cornerback, had a chance to pick that one off.
Antoine Huffman had the chance to pick it off, but it was the ability of Wesley Woodyard to get his hand in there that popped the ball loose. Now there's Woodyard, deflecting the ball as Chris Leak tried to get it to Chad Jackson in a crowd.
And another. At the Kentucky 30. Casey moving in motion. Toss sweep to Wynn. 30, 25 and a first down. To the 18-yard line of the Wildcats, where the Gators will have it 1st and 10. Roger Williams, the strong safety, number 35, tripped him up.
Great blocking over the right side. Nice job by Tate Casey coming back in, sealing the corner, and then Deshawn Wynn just going up and over would-be tackler Shamari Roll and getting the Gator 1st down.
Keyston Moore has checked in. He's lined up in a slot to the left side. That's Moore moving in motion, now lining up next to Leak. And Leak tosses to Moore, who fumbles the football out of bounds. Florida will retain possession on a 1st down play that had some promise if Leak had connected on the toss on that pitch to Keyston Moore.
Well, David, that was a good pitch. It hit him right up in the numbers. Keyston Moore just weren't able to handle the pitch, but they had something there. And good job by Chris Leak of forcing the linebacker. Now watch Chris Leak. He'll come out, fakes the ball to Wynn. Now good job, good pitch, just not able to handle it. He's got a blocker out front with plenty of room to run. Just a miscue by the young freshman running back.
The 8th play of this drive. Option to the opposite side. Leak will keep, and Leak will get hit by middle linebacker Braxton Kelly at about the 15. They're going to mark him at the 16-yard line. It'll be another 3rd down conversion opportunity for the Gators. They're 2 for 2 on this drive.
Well, David, the inability of the guard to get through and possibly pick up the Mike linebacker. Right there, the Mike linebacker goes unblocked, so when Chris Leak turns it upfield, he's got a free run on him. You've got to get that seal of the cutoff of the linebacker, so you've got a gap.
Florida trying to convert again on 3rd down and 8. at the Kentucky 18. Leak has a lot of running room. Now he's going to throw for the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown by Deshawn Wynn. A good ad-lib play by Leak. He was flushed out of the pocket, and it looked like he had enough running room to pick up a first down, but he decided to go for the touchdown, and it's Deshawn Wynn on the receiving end, his third career touchdown catch for the Gators.
David, you're so right. What Chris Leak saw there was open field. He's thinking first down to keep the drive alive, and then he saw Deshawn Wynn wide open in the corner of the end zone and got him the football.
Chris Hetland's extra point is good. There's a flag down. And it's going to go against Kentucky, so the extra point will be good. And the Gators have tied the score at 7-7.
Illegal participation. 12 men on the defense. Penalty is declined. Point is good.
All right, so Chris Leak engineers an impressive drive by the Gators, about 70 yards in length, and he throws the touchdown strike to Deshawn Wynn. We are tied at 7 in the first quarter. College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And by the Alachua County Visitors and Convention Bureau, where nature and culture meet. It's a 70-yard touchdown drive by the Florida Gators, and Deshawn Wynn with the touchdown catch from Chris Leak, who still has not thrown in an interception this year, nor has Kentucky quarterback Andre Woodson. We're not going to try and jinx either one, Nat. They're both too good for them. Let's take a look at the touchdown.
And watch Chris Leak as he's approaching the line of scrimmage. He realizes he's got an open receiver. You see him belly back to make sure that he doesn't cross the line of scrimmage. Good heads-up play by Chris Leak as he gets the Gators in for the score.
It was a 2-on-1 situation. One defender back there and trying to cover two Gators, so Leak picked the right guy to throw it to, and the Gators notch it all up at 7-7 with 8:42 to play in the first period from Lexington, Kentucky. Well, the Gators have had difficult games with Kentucky the last couple of years. Had to pull one out in the fourth quarter 2 years ago. And last year down in Gainesville, the Gators won a hard-fought 20-3 game against the Kentucky Wildcats. So you don't really expect it to come easy, even if Florida is a 3-touchdown favorite today, Nat.
I agree.
Great fan participation on the road as always. Orange and blue showing their colors today at Commonwealth Stadium. It was very important for the Gators after giving up the early touchdown of the Wildcats. Nat, very important that the Florida offense was able to move the ball down the field and put points on the scoreboard, because Kentucky was building some momentum if they'd stopped Florida on that first third down conversion.
Well, you've got to take the momentum back. Yeah, you're supposed to be the superior team. You've got to act like it.
Eric Wilbur kicking off. Drake Davis picks up the bouncer at the 7. Kentucky among the national leaders in kick returns, and Davis brings it out to the 36-yard line. Gators soccer host Auburn Sunday, September the 25th, 1:30 p.m. And the first 1,000 fans get Gator soccer T-shirts courtesy of Gatorade. Admission is free at James G. Presley Stadium. The Kentucky Wildcats, number 5, or actually number 2 in the conference, number 3 nationally in kick returns, and a nice return by Drake Davis gives the Wildcats good field position. The swing pass under pressure was Woodson as Cohen came crashing in there along with Stephen Harris, and the ball is incomplete. Florida's defensive front 4, Cohen moving into the starting spot due to the injury to Ray McDonald, joining Thomas, Harris, and Mincy. Cohen started at that position last year. McCullough, Seiler, and Everett are the linebackers. And the secondary led by Vernell Brown, who leads the team in tackles with 18. Very unusual for a cornerback of a good defensive team to lead a ball club in tackles, but Brown has been that good. Raphael Little. He's got a little A little wiggle in that running game, doesn't he? He's tricky. Seiler brings him down, but this is a very talented young running back, a sophomore from Anderson, South Carolina.
Well, David, anytime you're averaging 6 yards per carry as the Gators come with a blitz, you know that this guy has some ability to make people miss him in the open field.
There he is with 263 yards rushing coming into the game, a 6-yard per carry average. And a big third down player. Swing pass knocked away and incomplete. Harris got a big paw on it, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
Well, one of the things that Kentucky like to do, David, is to try and get the ball to the running back Little any way they can. He come into the ball game having caught 11 balls already. As you see, the second, or should I say the third time today, they've tried to throw a little swing pass to him to get him the ball. Nice job by Stephen Harris for seeing that he's not going to get there. He stops, gets his hands up, knocks it away because Little had some running room.
The punter is Tim Mastay, a freshman from Murray, Kentucky. And Vernell Brown will shift into the punt receive position. Mastay hits a bomb, and Brown fields it at the 10, stays on his feet, but for just a moment as David Jones finally bring him down at the 13-yard line. So a beautiful punt by Mastay, who has been struggling this year, but he booms that first one today as Kentucky scored first. The Gators answered with a 70-yard drive. We're all knotted up at 7 apiece from Lexington. We're back in Lexington at Commonwealth Stadium. Florida 7, Kentucky 7, midway through the first quarter from the Bluegrass. And every week we like to spotlight a different Florida assistant football coach. This week it's offensive coordinator, quarterback coach Dan Mullen, the youngest offensive coordinator in the Southeastern Conference at age 33. And we talked with him earlier and asked him how it feels to be now a Florida Gator.
It's great. You know, I mean, it's great being where football is important to everybody. It's great being in an atmosphere, you know, where it's just, you can't explain the atmosphere. You know, the excitement, the passion for the football, that's an unbelievable feeling for us to be involved in this type of program. And it's really exciting. You know, I know myself, my wife, we're thrilled to be here. And come. I've been a Gator fan, I think, for a long time, and you know, to actually be here, kind of a dream come true. The relationship with Coach.
Well, he's a young guy with he's got a great present and an even better future, you would think, with Urban Meyer at Florida. They met at Notre Dame when he was a grad assistant. Urban Meyer was an assistant coach at Notre Dame in 2000. Went with Meyer to Bowling Green. They put this spread option offense together, the two of them, right. And now they're together at Utah and again at Florida.
And I think what stood out to me in that sentence was where football is important to everyone. You know, think of the places he's been, David, and he says football is important to everyone at the University of Florida. It's a big statement.
No doubt about it. As Florida on its third offensive possession, hands off on first down to Deshawn Wynn. The drive starting at the 13-yard line. Wynn with a 4-yard carry. Braxton Kelly, a talented freshman, in on that tackle again. And the Gators led by junior quarterback Chris Leak coming to the line of scrimmage, looking at a 2nd down and 6 situation. A little bit of a low snap. Leak. They set up the screenplay to Cornelius, but a wonderful play by Muhammad, a terrific defender, the senior from Folkston, Georgia, makes the stop for Kentucky. So another big sequence for the Gators trying to keep this drive going. Steve Babbitt, Chris Leak has been very, very successful on third down conversions.
You know, David and Nat, while the option is a work in progress, the escapability of Chris as a scrambler, boy, he's really developed that on that touchdown play, obviously. And right now, if the offensive line can do a better job blocking, I think there's some plays to be had, but those guys are having a tough time right now up front.
Well, I agree with you. They've got to start getting some movement. They're going up against a team that's last in the SEC against the run, giving up 224 yards, David.
Well, the Gators trying to get just a yard to pick up the first down. They throw for it, and tight end Tate Casey makes the catch and steps out of bounds at the 34-yard line. So the Gators convert. They don't run the ball on 3rd and 1. They throw it to the big tight end, Casey.
Well, it's just trying to keep the defense off balance as you fake the ball to Deshawn Wynn. Tate Casey slips the block, gets outside, gets the ball, but it's good to see the ball in the hands of the big tight end. You know, we haven't called his number much this year.
No, only 1 reception for Casey, and he had 8 last year, and 4 of those went for touchdowns. Deshawn Moore in the backfield. Leak options, keeps. Nice decision by Leak, and he picks up 9 yards on the first down play as that gap opened up and Leak shot through. Muhammad Abdullah makes the stop again for Kentucky.
And David, I tell you what I'm starting to see going back to Babbitt. Nice block there, good block out there. Nice job getting down. He's smart enough now. He's turning the ball up. He's going north and south. He's getting comfortable in that option. You see him start to make better decisions when he come out, when to pitch and when to keep it.
And Urban Meyer says this Florida offense is actually probably farther along than Bowling Green or Utah. That's similar. It's Skylar Thornton, and he got hit near the first down marker, but should have enough to move the chains. Abdullah again made the stop for Kentucky. Abdullah is a guy who we're probably going to be calling his name often today. He already leads them in tackles coming into the game at about 9 per game.
26 tackles coming into the ball game. You know, with 1 sack, he's a 3rd-year letterman, a preseason All-American pick on some polls.
Leader of this Kentucky defense. Right now, the Gators first down as Leak bobbled the snap, but recovers and throws for Cornelius, who makes a wonderful catch and steps out of bounds at the 33-yard line of Kentucky for a first down for Florida.
And David, the way you know a quarterback is working on all cylinders is composure. You get the bad snap, or should I say the high snap, and Chris Leak has problems with it. He doesn't panic. He catches the football, resets himself, knows where he wants to go all the time, looks down the middle of the field, and then goes out to Chad Jackson, working one-on-one on Shamari Moore for the big reception. Just a good job by the junior quarterback, Chris Leak.
Leak now has completed 6 of 9 and leading the Gators in Kentucky territory in the first quarter. Wynn bouncing it outside and is hit from behind. A nice play by B.J. Parsons to slow him down, and then came the cavalry to finish it off for Kentucky.
David, I was impressed with the speed of B.J. Parsons as Deshawn Wynn hits it up inside, and then as he starts to bounce it out to his left, B.J. Parsons is the defensive end. This is he right in here. Now watch him just chase him down. There he goes.
Parsons playing with a broken hand. Junior college transfer. This Kentucky team banged up and short on scholarship athletes due to probation. Here comes pressure. Leak dumps it over the middle. Was it trapped or was it caught? The official's going to rule it a catch as Woodyard was covering Chad Jackson. We'll see if this one is going to be reviewed. Crowd certainly would like for the official up in the replay booth to take another look at it.
Let's go back and take another look and see if we can see exactly what happened. You're looking out to your left side, you get pressure, unblocked. Nice job of going down, catching the football by Chad Jackson. It's a great catch by Chad Jackson.
There's the booth. They're not going to review that one. And the right decision. Florida 3rd down opportunity again. Leak with time. And a nice tackle on Chad Jackson. That play made by Woodyard. Let's see if it's going to be enough for a first down. They needed the 23, and they got it with about 6 inches to spare. First down for the Gators.
Well, Chad Jackson just coming across, trying to find that open area, and just an outstanding play by the weak side linebacker, Wesley Woodyard, as he's able to come up and hold him short, short yardage. Gators are going to get hit, I think, David, with too many men breaking the huddle, 12 men in the huddle.
Flag came in before the ball is snapped.
substitution infraction on the offense, breaking the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And the third Florida penalty of the game.
Third Florida penalty, the first one I've got right. Oh, man. Just hate to see that. You got a good drive going, and instead of having 1st and 10, it goes to 1st and 15.
That's freshman Lewis Murphy getting his first quality playing time, a freshman from St. Petersburg out of Lakewood High School. Injury to Andre Colwell opening up a spot, and opening up a hole is the Florida offensive line, and running through it is Skylar Thornton to the Kentucky 10-yard line, where it's going to be first down again for the Gators. Their offensive line that time, Nat, opening up a gaping hole for Thornton, a 17-yard run.
And it's going to happen right in here, as you'll see. Good blocking by the center and guard, working together. Nice job of bouncing it outside and then running over the strong safety, Roger Williams.
Ball sits on the 10.5-yard line, so the Gators could pick up a first down. Trying to take the lead late in the first quarter. Thornton, no place to run that time, and he is dropped by Wesley Woodyard. And the Wildcats stacking him up near the line of scrimmage. Kentucky scored first after blocking a Florida punt and taking it in from the 16-yard line after the block punt. 1-yard hurdle by Little. Florida answered with a 70-yard drive to tie the score at 7-7. And now the Gators look to take the lead late in the first quarter. 12th play of this drive. Leak rolling left. He's got a man wide open. It's Jackson. Made one man miss and steps in for the touchdown.
David. You're talking about a guy that refuses to go down. I mean, Chad Jackson just makes play after play. You just want to get him in the open field, one-on-one, and you can count on him getting it into the end zone as he scores his 6th touchdown of the year.
Wow. And that, in the last 10 games Jackson has played in, he has 10 touchdown catches now. That's some serious productivity right there. Ketlam's extra point makes it 14-7. So Chad Jackson, as Leak found him wide open, and it gives the Florida Gators the lead. Let's get another look. How is Jackson so open now?
Well, they flooded the zone, and now you get the ball out to Jackson, and Anton Huffman has no prayer, one-on-one in the open field. You know, you think as a young guy, what you try and do is use the feel of the sideline to help you. There he comes up, and Chad puts a little juke on him and just makes him miss and waltzes into the end zone. And I tell you, David, the Gators this summer in spring practice ran a drill which really perfects that skill, where they have a 5-yard radius, the defensive back coming up, they throw the ball out quick to the receiver's got to make the defensive back miss, and the defensive back has to make the tackle. It's sort of like an Oklahoma drill for receivers and defensive backs, and Chad Jackson was unbelievable during the spring, and it also helps the DBs learn to tackle in the open field. It's obvious Huffman didn't see that drill.
No, and you probably could assume that Chad Jackson could teach that course just by nature. I mean, he just seems to be one of those guys that's gifted with that type of ability. If you've got a question for Nat Moore, you can email Nat at tailgate@sunsportstv.com. And the expert here will answer whatever's on your mind later on in the game. Let's go to our sideline expert, Steve Babick. Steve.
One thing that's going on the bench right there with the offensive line is a lot of coaching up by Coach Hevesy. You see Dan Mullen along with Coach Hevesy, but the one thing, they're constantly making adjustments. Drew Miller missed the block, and right away when they came off after the extra point, John Hevesy went to correct that and basically said, what did you see? You didn't get your man. We've got to get that corrected. What the offensive line can do, I think, is they can be a good line. They may not be the most powerful line in the SEC, but they can make enough holes for these backs. And there are so many playmakers, Deshawn Wynn, Chad Jackson, along with Chris Leak. They just got to get in the way enough to make some holes to let these guys do their thing.
Well, that's what I like about this coaching staff is they don't wait till halftime. You know, everybody says we're going to make these adjustments at halftime. They make them on the sideline. One of the beauties of this coaching staff is all of your coordinators, everybody is down on the sideline where they can coach up their players.
How unusual is that, Matt?
Extremely. Usually the coordinators want to be up top where they can see.
David Jones, nothing unusual about this for Kentucky this year. They are phenomenal on their kick returns, and the Gators are having all kinds of difficulty. A 32-yard return by David Jones, and Kentucky will have it first down at their 44-yard line.
And David Jones is a guy that's going to get all the credit for great run, but look at that wall and how they block. You know, they get after. You know, when you've got a guy back there that's willing to stick his nose in there, it's amazing how you get all those blue shirts out in front knocking guys out of the way.
Well, Kentucky with terrific field position, trailing now 14-7, but at their own 44-yard line. Quarterback Andre Woodson. A handoff. And Little is hit back at the 40-yard line as Jeremy Mincy was there. Marcus Thomas, Brandon Seiler, Vernell Brown, that Florida defense really making a name for itself. It's the signature of this football team right now, Nat. They gave up their first quarter touchdown here against Kentucky, but only because Kentucky blocked the punt to set it up.
Yeah, this defense came into this ball game #1 in total defense, #1 against scoring, #1 versus the pass. So you know they're upset that they gave up that early touchdown, but nice job, nice call by Greg Madison where they came with the corner blitz, got Vernell Brown in the backfield in a hurry.
Woodson on second down. Pass is dropped as the receiver heard the footsteps of Kyle Jackson. Arliss Beach was the intended receiver, and he just got those Gator arms going here against the Florida Gators, and Jackson treading not so softly up behind him.
But why do you call it Gator arms? Gators catch the football, so you know maybe you call it baby alligator arms.
Yeah.
You know, don't call them Gator arms.
Crocodile arms.
Crocodile arms. Anything.
Third down and 14. There's Greg Madison coaching on that Florida sideline. It's third down for Kentucky. They're at their 40. Twin backs, but Woodson looks to throw. Batted down by Vernell Brown. Intended for Glenn Holt Jr., but Brown, who is having an unbelievable year, and you know, Urban Meyer said early on that this guy is an SEC caliber cornerback, and he is the face of Florida football. He's done nothing but make one big play after another.
And David, he plays it the way he's supposed to play it. He plays it from outside in, knows he has the help of the free safety, wait till Holt makes the commitment on the square end, and then comes around, knocks it out with the right hand.
Mastay back to punt, and Vernell Brown waiting to receive for the Gators. D. Webb had a crack at it. Down goes the punter, and there is no flag. Mastay looking for that penalty flag, but the official on top of the play. Let's see what Steve Babick saw from the sideline. Steve?
You know, right away, the official looked at the punter and said, your blocker blocked that man in. We got no call here. No call.
All right, we get another look as Webb came flying in from that right side. Not the best angle there, Nat, but no call.
Well, I can tell you what I saw from here, David. The Gator defender never touched the kicker. The kicker got knocked down by his own man who tried to throw the block. That's why the kicker went down.
All right, so Florida gets possession at their 28-yard line. And Leak will throw on first down. Cornelius is brought down by Moore at the 38, close to a first down. Nat, you made a comment, we were talking before the game about Kentucky's defense. You felt like they would play soft, make the Gators drive the ball down the field, hoping that Chris Leak and Florida would make a mistake somewhere along the line. It's just sort of playing out that way, isn't it?
That's exactly what they want to do, is force Chris Leak not to want to force Chris Leak to make some mistakes as they try and move the ball down the field, and hopefully he'll turn it over because he's done that in the past two ball games.
But not this year. Not this year for Leak. So far, so good for Leak and the Gators with only one turnover through now 3 games and 1 quarter. And they surrender an early touchdown to Kentucky thanks to a special teams block by Tammy, but come roaring back as Leak and company take a 14-7 lead over the Wildcats. Back at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky on a warm and very humid late September afternoon. Kentucky scored first 7-0. Florida with 14 unanswered points. And with the ball as the second quarter will begin. 2 years ago, it was a thrilling come-from-behind Florida Gator victory. One of really many very exciting games here between these two football teams. Think back to 1993 and what a thrilling game that was against the Wildcats here at Lexington. The Gators quarterbacks threw 7 interceptions in the game, but Danny Werfel connected with Chris Doering, and the game-winning play giving the Florida Gators the 24-20 victory. One of the more memorable all-time plays in Florida football history. It really put Danny Werfel on the map as a quarterback of significance for the Gators. He catapulted to greatness beyond that play. And of course, Doering had a terrific career as well, a walk-on on the football team at that time. But you throw 7 interceptions in a game that most of the time you don't win, but not that day.
Well, Kentucky has always given Florida fits. And fortunately enough, Florida's found a way to make a play.
Oh, what a pretty pass from Leak to Cornelius. Jamal Cornelius to the 11-yard line. Antoine Huffman made the tackle, but that is just a beautifully thrown ball by Chris Leak on the run.
Well, Chris Leak bought time as he moved up in the pocket. Nice job by the offensive line of keeping his pocket clean, forcing everything out and around. He steps up and he finds Jamal Cornelius going down that left sideline and hits him in perfect stride where he's able to catch it and make a guy miss to pick up additional yardage.
Well, Leak has completed his last 9 passes and is 11 for 14 in the game. Shuffle pass forward to Jackson, hit by Abdullah, and Jackson drives inside the 5 to the Kentucky 4-yard line. Woodyard made the tackle on the elusive Chad Jackson.
And David, it's amazing how good he runs with the football the closer he gets to the goal line. That time he's hit by 2 or 3 guys. He spins, he keeps moving, trying to get it into the end zone, getting inside the 5-yard line.
Billy Lapsco has checked in, but Jackson, he's just a playmaker, Nat. He has a nose for the end zone and has a knack for making people miss. That's Jackson wide to the left, Cornelius to the right, Lapsco in motion. And a handoff to Deshawn Wynn, powering it in for the touchdown. Standing up goes Wynn for the Gators' 3rd touchdown of the ball game.
Also a great block on that particular play by Drew Miller, the left guard, or excuse me, the right guard, the sophomore out of Sarasota Riverview High School.
Wynn's 4-yard touchdown run, his 2nd touchdown of the game. He caught one in the first period from Leak, now carries one in, and Hetland hammers home the extra point.
Just good strong running by Deshawn Wynn, but just watch this side of your television, and just nice job by Deshawn Wynn of taking on the one tackle in the backfield, and there he showed you the strength of his legs, David, as he took on the runner and just ran right through him to get and powered his way into the end zone.
Boy, Nat, the Gators marched 72 yards in 4 plays. That is some kind of offensive efficiency, and that big offensive line blocking for Deshawn Wynn. Gators up 21-7. Well, take away that block punt that set up the Kentucky touchdown, and the Gators pitching another shutout here, but it's a 21-7 score early in the second period as Deshawn Wynn has run the ball in, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Aside from that block punt, the Gators struggling with their kick return coverage.
What's gone on the last couple of kicks? You had the low squib kick by Eric Wilbur, and then that short other kick. I don't think neither one of those are by design. They're just bad kicks. Then the kickoff coverage is a little bit off in their timing of covering, and the field position not very good. Kentucky had some good starts there, but the Gator defense recovered. So you see Nick Fleming now, who was awarded a scholarship just before the season began. Nick Fleming will kick off. Let's hope he does better.
All right, so Urban Meyer searching for better kick coverage, and going to see if Fleming can help this return coverage team do a better job downfield.
And you know, you get where you get spoiled when you have a guy like what was the guard name? Matt.
What was
Petrovic, where he just continually just kicked everything through the end zone. You didn't have to cover.
Big strong leg straight on kicker out of Chicago that did a great job for the Gators. He and Matt Leach won a lot of fans around the Gator Nation. Fleming, a low line drive. It's going to be returned by Drake Davis. And better coverage this time as Davis brings it out to the 24-yard line. There's Fleming. Nick Fleming, the young man out of Kirkwood, Missouri, a senior. An 18-yard return that time by Drake Davis.
And David, what a lot of teams now are trying to do on the kickoff is pin you in a corner and then try and get the coverage. So if you don't get good kicks, you open up your coverage to big runs.
Kentucky with the ball at their 24 on first down. Woodson pressured, throwing, and it is intercepted or incomplete. Let's see. Everett going to run it in. Is it a touchdown? We have not seen the signal. Yes, touchdown Florida. Everyone froze on the field thinking it was a trap ball, and Earl Everett, he said, no, I intercepted that thing. I'm going to stand up and run it in.
Well, let me say it like this, David. Earl Everett looked like it was a little trap, too. And then he said, well, wait a minute. There's no whistle. Let's see. Let's go back and see. As you'll look out to the right side of your screen, right out in here, you'll see Earl Everett there. He just turns, catches the football. Nice
his
job.
His knees were on the ground, though.
Well, he's down, but a nice job of getting his hands underneath the football and making the grab. Now, if that was the NFL, that would be a touchdown. But in college, once your knee is down, you're down.
On the field is interception, and the runner was down. The play is under review.
All right, they're going to look and see if it truly was an interception. And I don't think there's any question his knees were on the ground. We didn't have a good angle on it up here from our vantage point, but the replay appeared to indicate it is an interception.
Can I retract my statement there, David? I do think that Earl Everett intercepts this football. You know, he comes up, he gets his hands underneath the ball. Now, what happens here, his knees are on the ground, and that's why I think he stopped, and then he decided to run. You know, he knows the college rules a little bit better than I do.
Yeah. Well, if it is an interception, it'll be the first one that Woodson has thrown this year in 70 attempts. He and Chris Leak, one of just several quarterbacks in college football not to throw an interception this year, and they're on the same field today. But Woodson may have thrown his first on this play right here. Let's get another look.
There's another look, and this is the best angle. As you can see, he has his left arm underneath the football. So just a good job.
Interception. The ruling on the field stands. There was an interception. The runner was down. First down.
Well, Woodson finally has thrown an interception, and Earl Everett, a junior, finally has his first career interception for the Gators out of Webster, South Sumter High School. Second team all-conference a year ago. Has made a lot of big plays, but that's his first interception.
And the reason this ball is intercepted, we're raving about Earl Edwards, but, you know, Woodson gets hit just as he's trying to throw the football, which kept him from getting a lot of zip on the ball and made him throw an errant pass.
Brandon Seiler's the man that hit him on the throw. Leak throwing for Jamal Cornelius just beyond his reach and incomplete. Williams covering. All Friday at 7 on Sun Sports. Rec Warehouse College kickoff gets a jump start on the weekend of college football. Host Whit Watson along with Brady Ackerman. Terry Norvell will break down the Gators and the Vols. You'll also find out how you could win the ultimate game room. That's Rec Warehouse College kickoff Friday night at 7, only on Sun Sports. Obviously, it's not the Gators and the Vols, but the Gators next week and the Alabama Crimson Tide. What a big Southeastern Conference game that is lining up to be, as Keyston Moore takes the pitch from Leak on the toss. And a nice play by Antoine Huffman to bring down the freshman from Texas at the 25-yard line.
Gavin Dickey also entered the ball game and had a little extracurricular activity downfield, blocking against Shamari Moore, keeping him out of the play.
Dallas Baker lined up to the left, has not caught a pass today. It's been all Cornelius and Jackson, and Casey with one reception from Leak. Deshawn Wynn has caught a couple. Leak steps up, runs it across the 25. Leak to the 17-yard line of Kentucky, dropped by Abdullah.
All right. When you look at the Chris Leak that we're seeing here today, you know, he feels pressure, tucks the ball away, gets upfield, knows where the first down markers are, lowers his head, gets the first down. David, he started this last year at the tail end of the year, where you started to see the quickness and the ability of Chris Leak to pick up first downs with his legs. And today he's doing a nice job of releasing when he should, and then other times stopping and throwing the football.
And one nice run on the option too, Nat, where he made a good decision and turned it upfield for about 9 yards. Straight handoff to Wynn. Good blocking left side. Wynn to the 10. Deshawn Wynn. It will be first and goal for the Gators. Huffman made the tackle for the Wildcats, who
Latsko, who's moved back from his linebacker position. Now he's lined up at fullback or H-back. He comes across, gets the block, and that frees up Deshawn Wynn to get around the left side, David.
Yeah, and on a day where it feels more like Florida weather than Kentucky weather, this Wildcat defense already standing a lot of guys with their hands on their hips. Florida's offense has had the ball most of the game. Leak looking for Casey, wide open. He dropped it, incomplete. I tell you, give some credit though to Antoine Huffman, who got a hand up there and distracted Casey, but he'd like to have another crack at that one.
And Chris Leak gets rid of this football just in time as Roger Williams was bearing down on him, and just a nice job of going up. And I don't know if he deflected that ball, but if nothing else, he distracted Tate Casey, where he's not able to catch the football.
Florida's offense operating with great efficiency again. There you see the red zone opportunities today. 3 chances, 3 touchdowns, and a 4th opportunity now, but will be stalled momentarily by a timeout taken. Their first of the half. 11:58 to play in the second quarter. The Gators trying to build on a 21-7 lead. Can't make it to the match? Then you can watch live streaming video of Gator soccer against Auburn on Sunday, September the 25th on Gator Vision Online. Just log on to Gatorzone.com to sign up today. Florida's football team on the road for the first time this year as Albert and about 8,000 or 10,000 Florida fans have made their way to the Commonwealth of Kentucky to watch their 5th-ranked football team trying to get Urban Meyer his first road win. And last week, the huge victory at home against Tennessee. Time of possession in this game, Nat, 14.5 minutes for the Gators, 3.5 minutes for Kentucky.
Just a nice job of moving up and down the field as Kentucky is trying to play that bend but don't break defense, but you know, that wears down your defense, especially when you don't have a lot of bodies.
Fortunately, it's been a bend and break defense so far today as Leak sends Latsko in motion. Toss to Wynn. Wynn hit at the 4 but carries the ball to the 1, and it'll be 3rd down and goal. Roger Williams and Huffman kept him out of the end zone, which is no easy task when Deshawn Wynn gets a full head of steam.
Well, he's coming out to the right side. He looked like he's got good blocking out front, but once he sees a gap, he just lowers his shoulder and starts driving those legs. Right there, he sees that gap. He's not looking to get outside. He's turning it up, going north and south, gets it down inside the 1-yard line.
Ball is at the 1. It is Wynn. Wynn is in for the touchdown.
Good blocking on the right side of that Gator offensive line by number 67, Drew Miller, Lance Butler, Tate Casey. Just an outstanding job by the O-line.
And Deshawn Wynn now with 3 touchdowns today, 2 on the ground, 1 in the air. And the young man out of Cincinnati, Ohio, is having himself a terrific afternoon in Lexington, Kentucky. Cincinnati just a few miles up the road. He's got a lot of friends and family on hand to watch a big-time performance in the first half as Hetland's extra point makes it a 28-7 Florida Gator lead against the Kentucky Wildcats. Number 5 ranked in the nation. A slow start today, but now they've really got it rolling, the orange and blue from Gainesville. The 28-7 lead, 11-11 to play here in the first half from Lexington, Kentucky, as the Gators trying to get their 4th consecutive victory against the Kentucky Wildcats here today. Watch Gator Zone presented by Wachovia and Cox Communications on Sun Sports. James Bates and Larry Vittel bring you up to speed on all the latest Gator sports news Wednesdays at 5:30. Let's check in again with Steve Babick down on the field. Steve.
Well, the Gators currently are ranked 2nd in the nation in total defense, allowing just 199 yards per game. The best ever mark by Florida defense was 201.7 yards. That way back in 1965. That defense led by All-American defenders Lynn Matthews at defensive end, defensive back Bruce Bennett. Hey guys, you think about the way the defense is playing. The offense made a mistake. The defense gave up a short score, but it was a short field. But then they hold again, and now the Gators are up by 21.
All right, thank you, Steve. This Florida defense really gets after the opposition. David Jones knows how to run back kicks, however. And Florida's having a heck of a time getting the young freshman to the ground as Jones brings it out to the 36. 32-yard return by Jones. A real bright spot for Kentucky today, their kick returns.
Well, they've had great success all year long, and even last year, David, this Kentucky team blocked 9 kicks. So they work hard on special teams. They know that they're outmanned offensively and defensively, so they try and make it up on special teams.
Boy, look at that time of possession. And this is a key to victory for Urban Meyer every week. He wants his team to take care of the football, run that offense efficiently. And well, you have to say Chris Leak and company have done that here today without question. It's little carries for little yards on first down.
Well, the offense has handled the football exceptionally well, but it's all predicated on the defense continually getting those 3 and out. Even on the score after the block punt, Kentucky only had the ball 3 plays. So they've had 3 and outs. The problem is one of them was a touchdown.
After a block punt, here's Little on the toss sweep, and he is hit by Mincy at the line of scrimmage. Jeremy Mincy with the stop as Brandon Seiler, the linebacker, was shooting the gap up the middle. And all those gaps were covered, though, and Mincy was there to make the tackle.
Outstanding open field tackle by a 6'4", 365-pound defensive end on a little scat back like Raphael Little, where he takes him down for no gain in open field.
Well, terrific play. It's 3rd down and 10 for the Wildcats. Woodson, only a 3-man rush, and the Gators rushing hard as there's Vernell Brown again. He is a sure tackler in the open field, and it's 4th down for the Wildcats.
Not only is he a sure tackler, he's the smallest guy on the football field, but he reads all his keys. He's the 5th-year senior. He sees the middle screen being set up. He gets inside of the blocking right away and just makes a bone-crushing tackle.
So the Wildcats have to punt the ball again. Tim Mastay, the freshman from Murray. And Vernell Brown back to receive. Mastay, All-State in football and soccer, and also a terrific basketball and baseball star as well in high school. Almost blocked again by D. Webb. And this time a fair catch called for, and then Vernell Brown almost tried to run with the ball at the 32-yard line. A rare fair catch call. Vernell he's done that so infrequently now. He didn't know what to do after he caught it, I guess.
That's why he almost ran with it, because he doesn't normally do this. But it was a good fair catch call. A lot of times you don't want to fair catch it, but you know you got to when you've got people around you. You can't take those chances of turning the ball over. Well, the Gators have had 2 opportunities right here, come very close to getting the block. They've done that twice today, where they've had a shot. Just almost takes it off the kicker's foot. The Gator defender just not able to get there. He needs a half a step, David, or he's got to lay out a little sooner.
Yeah, almost twice now for D. Webb. Kentucky blocked a Florida punt. It was the first block punt against the Gators since 2002, and it was a Kentucky team that blocked the last punt against Florida back in 2002. That That gave the Wildcats the early 7-0 lead.
And David, I just thought about something.
What's that?
The Gators were going for a block again, right? You're supposed to fair catch the ball. You got no blockers down there for the return. So a good decision by Vernell Brown to finally put that left hand up and fair catch it.
You're right, Nat. Thrilling come from behind, and 2 years ago, the Gators here in Lexington, they were on the ropes against Kentucky. It was Chris Leak's first starting assignment, and the freshman had been struggling, but coming on in the fourth quarter. Then the big Pillsbury throw boy, Jared Lorenzen, uncorked one, and Johnny Lamar was the man who intercepted the ball, setting up the touchdown run for the Gators. Rand Carthon, and Florida came from behind with 18 unanswered fourth quarter points.
You know, you're in trouble, especially if you're playing on their field, because the crowd starts to get into it, and all of a sudden you get in the fourth quarter, you think you can win, especially when you have a big lead.
That's Deshawn Wynn over there working on the exercise bike, getting a chance.
He ain't getting enough exercise. There's too many backs running in and out of there, so he's warming up on the sideline. Yes.
First down play for the Florida Gators. Marcus Manson is the new running back, getting his first play of the afternoon. And Leak keeps and then tosses to Jackson. Jackson got a nice couple of blocks on the corner and steps out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That was Kenneth Tooks and either Cornelius or Baker downfield blocking. Nice job. Joe Schuler made the tackle. But watch this downfield blocking, Nat, to help.
Well, right
Jackson.
out here is Kenneth Tooks. Now watch him go down. Nice job of setting up. Jamal Cornelius is the inside guy. Both guys getting their blocks, helping their fellow receiver, Chad Jackson, pick up additional yardage.
First down for the Gators. Thornton now in the backfield. Skylar Thornton gets the handoff, and down he goes at the 49-yard line. Abdullah with the stop. Let's go to the field, and Steve.
David, he went back to that 2003 game. I remember, too, when Chris Leak led that comeback with 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. He made a big 2-point conversion play. He rolled out to his right, hit Calvin Kite, because that made it a 3-point game, 24-21. I think that's when Chris Leak realized he could play at this level, and perhaps those teammates then believed, hey, this kid can do something. He's special.
Well, Steve, I don't know if that's when his teammates realized he could play at this level. I thought he could play at this level when he showed us what he could do at the University of Miami.
Well, and also think about what he did against LSU. This pass caught. Of course, that was a week or two later, wasn't it, that year? The game in Baton Rouge. Kelly making the tackle on Chad Jackson, but I think everybody knew, Steve, that Leak was going to be a big-time player. But you're right, he did score a lot of points with the Gator Nation on that day here in Lexington.
Well, it's always big 2 on the road. Anytime you can do a comeback like that, you're down 21-3, and you're able to help your team come back. And as a freshman, obviously the confidence is high for Chris Leak, and he's a veteran now. He's a guy that's been in a lot of wars.
Well, it was just him finishing the show similar to what he showed in Miami when they got behind. Miami came back and took the lead, and he drove them down and just at the end threw a pick to keep from being able to lead them all the way back and win the ball game.
Leak's pass caught by Dallas Baker, his first reception of the game at the 40. And Florida picks up a first down.
And, you know, just as we were talking about the University of Miami, we've been talking about Dallas Baker not getting any catches today. Nice job sitting it down. Now watch him work back out, catches the football. When Chris Leak first showed he could play at this level, his go-to guy in the University of Miami in the closing minutes was this guy, Dallas Baker.
Baker, a wonderful talent, the senior out of New Smyrna Beach. Florida without Andre Caldwell for the rest of the year. They set up the reverse for Jackson. And Kentucky does a nice job of sniffing this play out as Eric Scott, a sophomore out of Woodstock, Georgia. Scott's number 87, big man getting some help, but did not fool the Wildcats.
And David, this play was doomed from the start because Chad Jackson caught the ball going backwards. So basically the timing was screwed up. This allowed the big defensive end to run across the field and make the play.
Leak keeps the ball on the option. Down he goes at the 35 as Williams comes up to make the stop for Kentucky along with Huffman. That'll bring up a third down and about 5 for the Florida Gators, who are just wearing down this already thin Kentucky football team. Here in the first half, we still have 5:50 to play in the second quarter. And you see a lot of hands on hips on that Kentucky defensive team. Gators 8 of 9 third down conversions. This is the 8th play of this drive. Blitz. Leak throwing. Cornelius with the catch. First down at the Kentucky 16-yard line. Boy, the offensive line picking up the assignments there, Nat, to give Leak an opportunity to find the open man, because Kentucky came with, I think, 6 men that time.
Well, there was a free blitzer in Chris's face, but a nice job of stepping up, getting the ball to Jamal Cornelius. You know, he gets good pressure, gets hit just as he's releasing the football by Samori Moore, but good throw by Chris Leak under pressure.
Cornelius now with 5 catches and already over 100 yards in receiving yards. Leak steps up for the end zone. Baker wide open, touchdown Florida. Boy, you got receivers running open all over the field, Nat, and Leak throwing a strike to the back of the end zone to Dallas Baker, and that makes it a 34-7 Florida lead.
Dallas Baker's first touchdown of the season as he comes across the back of the end zone for a 16-yard reception for a TD.
Hetland's extra point makes it a 35-7 score. So a nice job by Baker, who had 5 catches against Wyoming a couple of weeks back in the opener. That's his second catch of this drive. Look how wide open he is.
Just a great route. He goes down and he just works his way along the back of the end zone. He catches him in a zone defense, and the safety, David, the safety is supposed to be there. He goes out of there with the flare control. He's following out here. There he goes. Boom, he comes out. Chad Jackson wide open. Just a blown coverage by the free safety as he comes out of the middle of the field. A lot of mental mistakes being made by this Kentucky defense as the Gators are just picking them apart.
Well, Leak has already had numbers worthy of an entire football game. Chris Leak now is 16 for 21 and 240 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. 1 to Wynn, 1 to Chad Jackson, now 1 to Dallas Baker. 2 touchdown runs by Deshawn Wynn.
And I'll tell you, Kentucky probably came into this ball game figuring they're going to have to stop the run, knowing that they have been allowing over 24 yards per ball game, that Florida would come in here and just pound them. Instead, Florida has ran the football just to keep them honest, but they're throwing and going up and down the field via the pass.
Well, it looks like they could do it either way here today. Let's go to the sideline and Steve.
Nat, what about the rhythm of this team right now? You talked about the run. It looks like with the run working with the pass, they've got some good rhythm going, and it seems like whatever's being called from the sideline, positive yards, positive plays.
Yeah, good play calling, good job done by Dan Mullen, but I'm looking at a defensive football team for Kentucky that's just totally outmanned, and they've been on the field the entire first half, so you know they're tired. There's no way they could run with these speedy receivers when they're fresh.
Fleming's kick fielded by Jones. Now that's one way to keep Kentucky from getting a big return. Fleming kicks the ball 9 yards deep into the end zone. It's the old Petrovich method.
Well, I guess we should have just asked for Petrovich earlier.
Good job by Nick Fleming. Kentucky will have it at the 20-yard line. Leak with 21 passes thrown today, 16 completions. Now 103 consecutive passes this year without an interception for Chris Leak. You look at Rich Brooks, 64-year-old head coach, who has a difficult task with this Kentucky football team, depleted by injuries and scholarship limitations due to NCAA probation that he had nothing to do with. Woodson getting pressure. Scott Mitchell with his first catch, and a sarcastic round of applause from a nice Commonwealth Stadium crowd here on this Saturday afternoon. Kentucky picks up a rare first down, only their second of the afternoon.
Scott Mitchell, a big receiver at 6'3", 222 pounds, came into the ball game averaging 24 yards per catch, but the Gators had shut him down up until that reception.
Well, I tell you, Nat, you gotta respect these Kentucky fans. They come out here, they've had very little to cheer about through the years, but they still draw great crowds here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Yeah, they support all of the sports. They just do. They really respect their athletes, and I think in retrospect, the athletes respect the program. So you don't hear a whole lot of things going on here about things that players are breaking the rules or.
That reception by DeMario Ford, a true freshman from LaGrange, Georgia.
This team's got quite a few guys from LaGrange, Georgia. Skylar Thornton is also from LaGrange, Georgia.
Well, they've got quite a dynasty going in that small Georgia town. Pass caught by Holt, and Holt steps out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So 3 consecutive passes completed in a row as Reggie Lewis makes the stop for the Florida Gators. And all of a sudden, Andre Woodson and company, they've got a little something going here.
And it's nothing but a little wheel route where Reggie Lewis goes over the top, another little pick route. Well, that's the second time that's happened to him this year. I think it was Louisiana that ran it. Yeah, Louisiana Tech, yes. Ran it against him for a touchdown.
I think it was game 1. Pass batted away by Jarvis Herring. At the 40-yard line.
Gators are starting to come with a blitz. The open receiver looked like it's going to be Holt, but a nice job by Jarvis Harrington coming from his strong safety position, arriving the same time as the ball to shake it loose.
Herring, a senior leader, one of the captains out of Live Oak, Sewanee High School. Second down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Florida 44. Woodson. Intercepted by Everett, his second interception of the ball game. So Earl Everett, playing his 3rd year of college football, waited till today to get his first interception. Now he has 2 against a guy that had not thrown an interception all year long, Andre Woodson. But again, that was the pressure that really helped him.
Harvey, we asked the question, who's going to step up and replace Ray McDonald? Here's a look at good drop by Earl Everett getting the interception, but Derek Harvey, number 91, was in the face of Woodyard and forced him, Woodson, and forced him to throw the football early.
Everett with 2 picks today. All smiles from the junior from South Sumter. Swing pass. That's Keyshawn Moore, the freshman out of Arlington, Texas. Came into the game with a couple of catches. This young man has a terrific future. He's got good hands. He's got that big, strong body. He runs north and south. Urban Meyer and this coaching staff just love this young guy.
Real good hands. And
running back
catches the ball. Running back catches the ball well coming out of the backfield.
Manson, Thornton, Moore, and Wynn. Leak throwing. And he throws a strike that is caught by Cornelius, who has his 6th catch of the game. That one goes for 15 yards and another Florida first down. Boy, is Cornelius ever taking advantage of an opportunity with Caldwell out for the year with the injury.
And that's what you're looking for. And this is a good time to test a young man, and I think that's why he's getting so many plays called his way. As you get ready to go into the tooth of the season, you want to know that you can count on this young fella catching the football in traffic.
You can count on Jackson to make plays. Chad Jackson with another catch. And to the Kentucky 10-yard line as Leak is just picking apart this Kentucky defense.
Well, and that just, what happens is guys start to get comfortable and they start to find those little open areas in the zone. You see the linebackers are getting good deep drops, but by the same token, you got receivers that are experienced that know how to find that open area.
Well, this leak pass is caught by Kenneth Tooks. That's going to be Kenneth's first reception of the year. Woodyard with the tackle. And Florida hurrying up to the line of scrimmage.
And David Woodyard had great coverage there, but Chris Leak able to fit it in, and Kenneth Tooks able to make a difficult catch with the linebacker hanging all over.
And that's a tired Kentucky defense out there at the moment. Leak throwing a dart to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Jackson, his second touchdown catch of the game.
Well, it's just no way that you can play a zone defense against Chris Leak when you're not getting pressure on him because he has a cannon. You know, the receiver goes down, sits down in between the two defenders in a soft area. The ball gets there in a hurry. It's kind of tough to react and make a play on the football, as we saw there with Leak going to Chad Jackson for the touchdown.
Fleming holds, Hetland kicks, and it is 42-7. Nat, what about that fast break attacking offense? The Gators just almost sprinting to the line of scrimmage. Well, on that possession, just driving that ball into the end zone.
Well, you know that you've got a very tired football team, and by going no huddle, running your receivers in and out, what happens is you have an opportunity to really take advantage of a tired defense, and that's what the Gators did at that time.
Well, the way the Florida defense is going, Florida's offense might get one more crack at it before the end of the half. We still have over 2 minutes left. Let's get another look at the touchdown.
Well, here you got a big zone defense. Everybody's trying to go to the end line. What they're told defensively is to go to the end line right across here and then stop and then react to the football. But because the ball gets there so quickly, Chad Jackson gets across the goal line and then just turns and gives Chris Leak a target. Defenders don't have a chance to react. Defensively, anytime you're playing zone, you want to get to the goal line, turn, look at the quarterback, and then try and react to the football, but Chris Leak's got a gun.
Well, sometimes the other guy is just better. And that might be what we're looking at today. Leak has been on target today, completing 21 of 26 passes, including 4 touchdowns here in the first half. After the Gators spotted the Wildcats a 7-0 lead, he connected with Chad Jackson. That's one of them. And Jackson with another. Dallas Baker on the receiving end. And the Gators with 4 touchdown passes from Leak today. There's the most recent one to Mr. Jackson. And Florida now with a 42-7 lead late in the first half from Lexington.
And David, I missed something when I was talking about that zone defense. What I saw there to show you just how sharp Chad Jackson is, he knows there's an in and out on him as they're sitting there. He goes to the outside guy and posts him up, which made it tougher for the inside guy, Kelly, to try and get to the football. Just an outstanding route by Chad Jackson.
And a strong leg by Nick Fleming will force Kentucky to down the ball again as Davis fields it 7 yards deep. So that's 2 in a row for Nick Fleming, pounding the ball deep into the end zone, not allowing that Kentucky return team to get it going. Chad Jackson having the big day. He's got 8 catches. Cornelius has 6 catches. And Florida's offense is really rolling here in the first half in Lexington. Andre Woodson has thrown 2 interceptions today after not throwing an interception throughout the first 3 games of the season. Only threw 1 last year. Mitchell caught the football, but he was out of bounds. It's incomplete.
I tell you, Vernell Brown is as smart as they come. He's a 5th-year senior, knows how to use the sideline, and that time he just rode Mitchell out to the sideline and rolled him out of bounds, so that it was impossible to complete that pass. Just a good job of running the route for the receiver by Vernell Brown and pushing him out of bounds.
Second down for the Wildcats from their 20. Woodson hit as he throws. The ball caught by and they do at the 30-yard line. So the catch by Tammy, then the Gators shook it loose and recovered the football. That's the 3rd turnover of the game. D. Webb getting the congratulatory pat on the helmet. He must have been the one that shook that ball loose.
Well, I don't know if he shook it loose, but
or did he recover it?
I think he recovered it. And linebacker Brandon Seiler. Here's Tammy right here. He's going to break out. Now watch Brandon Seiler come in. Holy mackerel. Yes, I think it was.
No, it was Webb that knocked
Webb,
it loose.
as well as Earl Everett coming in on the hit.
And I think Seiler might have been the man that recovered the ball. So Florida has it as Josh Portis has checked in at quarterback, the freshman. And he'll keep the ball on the option, turn it upfield to the 20, to the 15. Portis turning the corner to the 10. The freshman will fumble the ball as he steps out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Woodland Hills, California product. A young man that ran for over 800 yards last year in his senior year and passed for almost 2,300. And you can see why everyone is so excited about this young man's potential.
Well, David, that's just fresh legs against a very tired defense with a guy that really knows how to run the option. Right there, he sees a crack, and then he just picks up his blockers downfield. I mean, you're talking about a young man that was made for the option. Josh Portis is it.
But Chris Leak is back in the game, and he hands it off to Manson, I believe. Or was it Wynn? It's Wynn that carries it in for the Gators. So Portis got the ball to the 1-yard line. Nat, do you think because he was careless with the ball near the goal line, Leak was put back in the game?
Well, I think what you don't want to do is have a turnover, a bad exchange, because remember, Chris Leak was up under center that time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Leak took the snap on the touchdown. So Portis ran one play, and Leak came in to hand off to Wynn for the touchdown. I just have a feeling, as the ball is kicked through, that Portis slinging that ball around a little bit, and the coach trying to teach him a lesson. You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think it was just a decision by the coaching staff that here's a football team that runs from the shotgun. You want your senior, or should I say your junior, your star quarterback underneath the center to make sure you get the exchange so there's no mistakes.
When you're up 42-7,
you still don't want to make any mistakes.
You want to give the freshman a chance here.
No mistakes.
All right. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I've seen that in practice, but they do have design plays where they do run Portis in, run out of the shotgun, and we saw that there. I'm not sure if he got hit when he came out, but it looked like Dan Mullen was right away talking to Chris Leak about the next play, so I think maybe Nat's right. I think it was out of design.
Just came in.
Yeah, I think Coach Moore got that one right.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that y'all gave me a vote of confidence finally.
Well,
I might know a little bit about this game.
We got to create a little something here today. It's 49-7 late in the second quarter.
No, I mean, when you think of a football team like this where they run the shotgun all the time, that's what Portis is used to getting. Right here, he's used to taking the ball from the shotgun. Just nice job. I mean, he sees right now, I'm going with this. I see a gap. I'm going to show Chris Leak how you're supposed to do this when you've got the football in your hands. And then he just ran out of real estate there.
He had it. He was carrying that ball like a loaf of bread again, though, Nat.
Well,
that's one thing that the coaching staff has been on him and Marcus Manson about.
The great play. Okay.
Dan Mullen and
what's this
Urban
coming
Meyer.
to? You and I disagreeing. I mean,
it doesn't happen often.
Holy mackerel! I think Chris Leak.
Great minds normally think alike here in the booth, but just not always.
Must be known for those talk radio shows or something. Trying to create havoc.
No, not me. Fleming kicks it out, and Kentucky will bring it out to the 20. Could the Gators get one more possession before the end of the half?
Well, I would think that Kentucky now would just want to sit on this ball, go inside, try and get their legs back on them, and come back in the second half because they get the ball first.
All right, back to the field and Steve.
Now, since we're in basketball country, the Gators on a 49-0 run. They've done it with a pressing defense and a fast break offense, and they are rolling on this court.
Well, you're right. And Deshawn Wynn with 4 touchdowns today, and that matches what he did against Florida A&M back in 03, 4 touchdown runs. Flag down as Raphael Little breaks a couple of tackles, and out of bounds he goes at the 25. But 4 touchdowns for Wynn. Really not that big of a deal for the junior from Cincinnati. He scored 7 touchdowns in a high school game and ran for 465 yards once in the high school football in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but today he's only going 1 yard at a time. Gators are starting to have wholesale changes as both Derek Harvey and Jarvis Moss is in the ballgame.
Number 94 in the defense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's Jarvis Moss, whose number was called. That's not the way you'd like to be introduced. But
he got his name
Moss
called.
is in there.
He got his name called.
As long as they spell your name right. Pronounce it right. There's the sophomore, third-year sophomore from Denton, Texas. Highly recruited prospect. Woodson hit as he throws incomplete. Harvey, redshirt freshman. He and Joe Cohen trying to shore up that end spot with McDonald out at least till the Georgia game. Ray says, I'll be back for Georgia. Do you think there's any way, Matt, with that injury?
I think it's going to be tough, but if anybody can do it, Ray will. I think he's one of those guys that will work hard to get back, and as soon as they tell him he can run, he'll be running.
Well, so much for Kentucky running out the clock. That pass thrown over the head of Scott Mitchell. Florida's going to get the ball again, leading 49-7.
The Gators are just putting great pressure up front with their second-team defensive line. You got number 99, Latrell Alford, the sophomore from Gainesville East Side in the ball game, along with Clint McMillan, number 98. So, wholesale changes on defense.
McMillan out of Oviedo, the Orlando area. 3rd down and 5. Raphael Little trying to get a first down. He does across the 35, so Florida perhaps will not get the football again here in the first half. Raphael Little carries for 16 yards to pick up the first down for Kentucky.
We have a player down. I think it's number 8.
That's Demario Ford. I think Ford was trying to throw a block downfield. Right there it is. He got tripped up and then went head first into a defender.
Yeah, he got tripped up and then actually it looked like he comes down on his head. He gets hit in the head and then just lands on his right shoulder.
Ford, one of 3 players on this Kentucky team that starred at LaGrange, Georgia High School. Yeah, that's 8 Demario Ford. He and Woodyard and Kelly, the 2 linebackers, all played at LaGrange High School in Georgia. I think they've won 3 state championships in the last 4 years. Skylar Thornton was on that championship team 4 years ago for the Gators. So, there was a little bit of a reunion of LaGrange, Georgia before this game started with Thornton and those 3 guys for Kentucky.
So you think there were quite a few cars coming up from Georgia for this ball game, huh?
Hopefully Ford is going to be all right. They're looking at his knee. Always a scary situation. And speaking of scary situations, help the victims of Hurricane Katrina bounce back by seeing % of its proceeds from Roll Bounce's opening weekend box office to Operation USA for hurricane relief.
A little tough for this Wildcat football team that already is pretty banged up to lose another receiver as Ford's hobbling off.
Yeah, they've lost Keenan Burton and Tommy Cook, a couple of their top receivers. Now Ford is out. They put John Logan in. And the pass to Mitchell is incomplete. And Mr. Mitchell was going to say hello to Mr. Jackson pretty quick there if he caught the ball.
Yeah, it's a good thing that he did not catch this one because that forced Kyle Jackson to pull up. If he catches the football, it wouldn't have been pretty. I mean, it was a clean shot with him up in the air.
Kentucky continues to try and get something going on offense as the pass is incomplete, intended for Holt from Woodson. And Kentucky has absolutely no rhythm in their offense today. Holt, the senior, the intended receiver out of Miami. One of several Floridians on this Kentucky team. His dad played at LSU. I remember his father was a terrific wide receiver for the LSU Tigers back in the 80s. 3rd down and 10. And Woodson is hit and dropped by Jarvis Moss.
Woodson brought down the
Getting a chance to play and comes up with a quarterback sack.
And that was just great pressure as we look at the defensive coordinators, Charlie Strong and Greg Madison, but a great push by the defensive line as they ran a tackle-in twist game. You know, here they are right in here. Now you're going to see a little twist block where Jarvis is going to come outside. Everybody's working hard, forces them back inside. Nice job by Moss of making the tackle.
Mastay's punt, fielded by Vernell Brown. There's a flag dropped as Brown finds a way through to the 50. Mastay's not going to catch him, but Davis does from behind at the 31-yard line. But there is a flag on the play back in the area where Vernell Brown started this run back. Well, it took the Gators, they're going to go against Florida, holding on the return. Took the Gators a little hiccup to get going today, but once they started getting it rolling, they've been running downhill on Kentucky.
And what normally happens, and we talked about that in the open.
Return, illegal block in the back, number 15 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
So that penalty will bring the nice return by Vernell Brown back. You were saying that?
I think they caught Demetrius Webb, but
I don't think so.
Josh Portis is in the ball game. But you know, when you look at this football team and the way they came out flat offensively, not able to move the ball, and then special teams, they just, well, we're gonna kick it away, and they didn't protect. And I guess they got shocked in a hurry.
Yeah, a little shell shock early on, but recovered. And off to Manson. Manson is hit as he tries to go right up the middle. And that should be the final play of the first half. A long one for the Wildcats, and a big-time offensive performance by Urban Meyer's Florida Gators. His defense actually pitched a shutout as well. The only Kentucky score after the block punt on Florida's first possession. So Florida's defense continues to play extraordinarily well, and Dan Mullen's offensive unit also getting it going today, as Deshawn Wynn has carried for 4 touchdown passes, and Chris Leak has thrown for 4 as well. And the Gators have rolled to a 49-7 halftime lead, ranked number 5 in the nation, and they look every bit that strong today in Lexington. Score brought to you in part by Simply Orange, simply unfooled around with. Halftime at Commonwealth Stadium on the campus of the University of Kentucky. The Florida Gators with the huge halftime advantage. 49-7 is our score here in Lexington, Kentucky. And welcome back, everyone. Along with Nat Moore, David Steele, and Steve Babick. And after a sluggish start, Nat didn't take Urban Meyer's.
Sudden the wheels start turning.
No question. The Gators really caught a nice rhythm. Chris Leak throwing the ball well. The running game was going. The sort of numbers, Nat, that you would expect in a big, complete football game in the first half for the Florida Gators. They've got huge numbers.
Well, after their early mistake, they were able from then on to take the ball and just drive it down the field. That's the way you keep from getting kicks, block, and score a touchdown. So the Gators got the ball 7 times. They had the ball 9 times. They scored the next 7 times. They get the first kick blocked by Jacob Tammy. A nice job by Eric Wilbur of not allowing him, forcing him to have to rush it down there. And then a nice job by Raphael Little getting it into the end zone to set up the first touchdown of the afternoon. And then Chris Leak getting the ball to Chad Jackson in the open field to bring the Gators back and to get them in and to make it 14-7 after Deshawn Wynn to turn it on. Earl Everett getting his first interception of the day. Nice job by Chris Leak of getting the ball to Dallas Baker in the back of the end zone. Once again, good job by Earl Everett of just reading the eyes of the quarterback, getting in the throwing lane and coming up with the interception. And then what do you do after you get a pick? You score. You go down the field, you get the ball, your favorite receiver, Chad Jackson, once again in the end zone for the touchdown. There's another look at the touchdown. Nice job by Chris Leak of moving the team down the field, scoring touchdowns.
Boy, incredible, Nat Leak with 4 touchdown passes. The numbers overwhelmingly in favor of the Gators. Time of possession, 21-9. Let's go to the field and Steve.
Coach, after a rough first start, you had to be happy the way your team responded to that first half.
Yeah, I think they played very well. We came out in the hornet's nest, and our special teams is not on the ball. I think we played okay, obviously, offense, defensively, but we still got some things to get. That's the first punt we've had blocked in a long time.
Your offense gave you good balance, both the run and the pass.
I thought Chris threw the ball. What we even said on the sideline, that's as well as I've seen him throw the ball. I mean, those deep balls are right on the dot. So I think it was 21-26. He had a great day.
What'd you like about your running game in the first half?
Well, it was balanced. I think they played us with 2 safeties deep most of the half, and that should open up some run lanes. And I thought we blocked someone for the first time this year.
A chance for the backups to get some time maybe here in the second half.
Josh is going to play, and he's going to, with his speed at quarterback, it's going to be fun to watch second half. We just got to take care of the ball.
Great, thank you, Coach. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, that was head coach Urban Meyer just moments ago with Steve Babick, and I think the key word for Chris Leak, it was a great day for Chris Leak. So Leak throwing on the sideline, but I don't know if we're going to see Leak here in the second half. He might start, but we certainly are going to see Josh Portis as David Jones is the freshman return man, and Kentucky really does a nice job of returning. Face mask on top of a brilliant return of 40 yards by David Jones. That's going to be the call. So the return out to the 44-yard line, tack on more on the penalty.
Incidental face mask, number 9 on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so good field position for the Cats. Let's revisit the keys to the game, brought to you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Chevy, turn the keys, start a revolution.
Well, offensively, the Gators have not turned the ball over. Defensively, they've gotten a 3 and out and gotten some takeaways, so Gators have been able to accomplish what they were looking for. By the same token, defensively, or should I say offensively, they have no big plays due to the Wildcats, and defensively they have not, and I repeat, David, have not confused Chris Leak as he's been able to go up and down the football field.
Absolutely not. And interesting note here, Nat, to start the second half, the Gators come with their second line defense.
Well, I think, the way Urban Meyer is looking at this is he wants to get these guys some quality time. And what's a better way than to start them here in the second half?
All right, that's Derek Harvey, Clint McMillan, Latrell Alford, and Jarvis Moss along the front 4. Woodson pursued by John Demps, the freshman linebacker, and connects with Tammy, the tight end. Tammy fumbles, but it's out of bounds, and Kentucky will retain possession. Oh, Jarvis Moss almost had the sack, but Woodson got away and then made the big play to Tammy.
Well, when you get a chance to get a sack, you've got to come down with the quarterback. You get him there in the backfield, and you're just not able to come down. Nice little move, little juke step by Andre Woodson, and then getting the ball out to his tight end, Tammy.
Nick Brooks with the tackle, but Kentucky is at the Florida 19-yard line, first down and 10. Andre Woodson hands the ball off to Raphael Little, running up the middle to the 10. And it is Reggie Nelson trying to wrestle the ball away from him instead of perhaps just bringing him down. And down goes Little at the 5-yard line. So Kentucky will be first and goal at the Florida 5. And boy, the defensive staff is not going to like this. Kentucky running the ball right down the field against Florida's second-team defense.
And just guys missing tackles. I mean, you got a little crease there, but the linebackers got to make the play.
That's first and goal for the Wildcats at the Florida 5. 2 tight ends in the game, Drobny and Tammy. Little tried to bounce outside and turns it back into the Florida defense. That's Tony Joyner and Derek Harvey on that tackle, along with John Demps, the freshman. Demps, number 55, out of Pensacola, Washington High School.
Demps was the linebacker that had the free shot on Woodson and not able to bring him down. He's going to be a good football player, Dave.
Yeah, a lot of talented youngsters out there right now. Number 4 that you're seeing is Avery Atkins, a freshman defensive back from Daytona Beach. On the reverse to Holt. Holt trying to turn the corner at the 5 and dives in for the touchdown. Lewis had a shot at him back behind the line of scrimmage, but once Holt was able to turn the corner, and he was going to get into the end zone for Kentucky's second touchdown of the game. They scored on their first possession of the ball game and their first possession now of the second half.
Out of North Miami High School in Opelika, Florida. Good football player that made a nice run. Able to elude the tackle of Reggie Lewis in the open field.
And the extra point by Begley makes it 49-14. Here's another look.
And as you see this, Reggie Lewis is actually in great position. He just takes the wrong angle. All he's got to do is make sure that he turns it back inside. He sees this play coming all the way and just takes a bad angle. Hope gets outside of it, David.
So Kentucky takes the ball about 50 yards, just beyond that, on its first possession of the third quarter, a 51-yard drive, and they put it in the end zone to cut the lead to 49-14.
How does Supercuts know how it is?
So what are we thinking?
This is Brad's girlfriend. Make him look like a naughty little monkey.
No, we need something respectable for little Philip's christening. Don't push me.
Okay, how about something hot for the ladies, yet conservative enough for Philip's big day?
How did... Give me that! Give me that! Supercuts. We know how it is.
For the Supercuts location nearest you, call 1-800-SUPERCUTS or log on to supercuts.com.
Tragedy can happen anytime, any place, to anyone. When the winds of disaster fade, one organization is always there. An army of compassion. Help turn tragedy into recovery. 1-800-SALARMY.org.
And it is gone, and the Marlins are down 1-0. Here it comes. The Marlin fans want no part of that one. We're going to send it right back to the out.
Light up the night with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. The only Friday night college football show in the nation. Live this week, Go All Access as Miami invites the Bulls down south. Plus, find out what Urban has in store for the Crimson Tide. Start your Chevy tailgate Saturday weekend with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
Well, Florida had scored 7 unanswered touchdowns before the 5-yard run by Glenn Holt to make it now a 49-14 score. Florida still very much in command. Will get the ball for the first time in the second half as Holt out of North Miami High School scores the touchdown. Glenn Madison not happy with that second unit defense, which started the third quarter and quickly gave up 6 points.
And David had a chance to make a big play early in that drive, and you're just not able to come down with the quarterback. You get the free blitzer on the quarterback, you got to make that play, and that's part of growing up.
Begley's high short kick, that is a free ball, and it's taken by the Gators at the 29-yard line.
Nice job by Rutledge, number 29, of being alert, knowing that that's a live ball.
Man, Rutledge saved the day with that one as he pulled it in. Florida football at the 18. Great kick by Begley. Let's go to the field and Steve.
As you would expect, the Gator defensive coach is not real happy with the backups after that last drive. But think about this. You've got Coach Madison, Coach Strong not real happy. But even worse, if you're a backup, how about Brandon Seiler and Marcus Thomas and Kyle Jackson giving you that look like, don't mess it up. Those guys got a lot of looks from the veterans about, let's clean things up out there.
Yeah, Steve, there's a drop, a rare drop pass today by Cornelius. Or rather, that's Jackson. But you're right, you know, those NCAA stats, they don't show second unit points given up, first unit points given up. It's all under the Florida defense.
Yeah, and it's all about getting an opportunity. They're trying to get the young guys some experience, but, you know, you've got to show that once you get on the field that you have the ability to make the play. If not, then that means the starters have to go back in and you have to wait another year before you get that type of experience.
Got some youngsters on the field for the Florida offense. Nyan Boateng is on football field, number 80, lined up wide to the left. Toss to Skylar Thornton. And a junior from LaGrange, Georgia. Brought down at the 21-yard line by Kentucky. Tackle by Woodyard, the linebacker, and Schuler, the linebacker. There's Boateng. Very talented athlete out of Brooklyn, New York. He actually did not play football his senior year because of an injury. But put up big numbers the year before, was a basketball star as well, and played with Sebastian Telfair in high school in Brooklyn. Not a bad player.
Not at all.
Portland Trailblazer point guard. Chris Leak throws the ball complete up around the 28-yard line to Jackson.
I'll tell you, Chad Jackson is starting to show me that he is not only a big-time receiver when it's catching the ball down the field, making something big happen, but watch him work to the middle of the field, know where he's got to get the first down, gets the allotted yardage, and then protects the football with his body as he makes the catch.
Chain stretched out, and it is a first down for the Gators. Jackson he's got 9 catches now, Chad Jackson. Cornelius has 6 catches. They're both over 100 yards for the game. We're going to try and check the record books, find out when the last time 2 Florida receivers had 100 yards receiving in one game. That's Cornelius wide to the right as Tate Casey is in motion. And the give is to Thornton. A little stutter step back there, and then he got it in gear quickly. Hard man to bring down. Trey Melch, number 91, finally finishes off the job around the 34-yard line.
If you're Skylar Thornton and you got an opportunity to play now, you've got to impress this coaching staff. When you look at the offensive running back position, good job down low. Doesn't look like much is there, but a nice job of staying with the hole, David, being patient, and then just keeping his legs driving to pick up good yardage on first down. But, you got to stable the backs. You got to show the coaches you belong out there. Otherwise, you don't get in playing time.
Well, Marcus Manson in the game, and he'll take the swing pass from Leak. Try to turn it upfield, but a nice tackle by number 46, Joe Schuler. Manson, however, does pick up a first down to the 40-yard line. Youngster out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He's got to be juiced for next weekend's game.
He's a guy that doesn't get a lot of playing time as well, and he has shown you when given the opportunity what he can do. He had a real good ball game against Louisiana Tech, where he carried the ball 14 times for, I think, about 68 yards. So, he's got some quicks as well.
Yeah, he averages 6.5 yards per carry. And a nice game against Louisiana Tech. Leak spins and fires to Cornelius. They set up the screen, and Moore is there to break it up for Kentucky. Short gain on the play.
Outstanding play by Shamari Moore as he's able to avoid the block of Lance Butler coming out from his tackle position, and makes the tackle. Good job by Shamari Moore. Also a freshman, I think, from Camden, New Jersey.
Redshirt freshman. Talk about basketball ties. We talked about Boateng and Telfair. His cousin, Moore's cousin, is DeJuan Wagner. Plays for the Cavaliers. Josh Portis, the quarterback. On the option, he'll keep. Got a block from Tooks. And down he goes. Williams makes the tackle at the 47-yard line. Urban Meyer said you're going to see some interesting stuff here in the second half with this young guy getting a lot of playing time, but he is a terrific athlete, Nat.
And this is a run all the way. You just run a quarterback sweep, but he just doesn't have a hole to slip through, but a nice job of turning up, getting as much as he can to give himself a good third down situation.
And yes, he can throw the football. We might see some of that in the second half. He can run it, but he threw for almost 2,400 yards last year as a senior at Woodland Hills, California. Looking to throw here, throws a dart up the field to Cornelius. And Cornelius is brought down by Jones at the Kentucky 45-yard line.
And a nice job by Josh Portis of getting outside of the pressure and then coming off to his secondary receiver. He really wants to get this ball to Tate Casey right here. But watch as he comes out. He's looking at Tate Casey all the way, sees that it's not open, and he just drops it inside to Jamal Cornelius to pick up the first down. Nice play by the freshman quarterback.
8 catches now for Cornelius. Florida at the Kentucky 45-yard line. And a handoff to Thornton.
He did such a good job that time, David. He faked you out.
Yeah, you're right.
I tell you what, this kid is a magician with the football in his hands, and you can see why he was so highly talented coming out of high school running this option.
Dan Mullen running receivers on and off the field. A lot of young Gators are going to get playing time here in the second half. Josh Portis, the freshman quarterback, in the game. After Leak started the third quarter, but gave way to Portis early on this drive. Portis fakes the handoff this time. Running away from pursuit. And steps out of bounds inside the Kentucky 45 at the 43. Braxton Kelly, another true freshman.
And David, this time to show you the maturity of this young freshman, he's looking downfield. He feels pressure. Now watch his eyes. He's always looking downfield. He's looking to get the ball to someone, sees there's no one there. Then he steps out of bounds. Never lost vision down the field, looking for an open receiver.
Third down play for the Gators. 3rd and 9 from the Kentucky 44. Pass is incomplete, intended for Baker, and he couldn't hold on. Good coverage by Jones.
And even if he catches that football, David, he didn't have the allotted yardage or the needed yardage, shall I say, for first down. So, you know, you'd like to see him take that a little bit deeper. You got to know where the first down markers are.
Well, Eric Wilbur has not had a chance to punt the ball since early in the game when Kentucky blocked that first one. Portis getting an opportunity to run that Florida offense. He'll likely get a lot more here in the second half. Raphael Little is the deep man for Kentucky. Wilbur hangs it high. Little at the 9. Fontaine with a big block on Everett. And Wilbur's down there to be in on that tackle, and Eric a little bit shaken up.
Well, he was the last line of defense, but he came up and really delivered the blow. And when you're not used to it, delivering the blow could mean that you take the blow as Eric Wilbur. But a nice job by Eric of coming up, sacrificing his body. You know, he's the last line. You know, Raphael Little is off to the races, and he comes up and he sticks that shoulder in there, man. Nice job by the kicker, the punter.
Wilbur makes the stop. And yes, he does know what day it is down on the sideline. It's Saturday. Their team's up 49-14. We'll be back.
I'm Coach Billy Donovan, and we're way above the swamp. Whoa! This plane belongs to the Red Baron Pizza Squadron. Red Baron is the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators. Whoa!
You really know how to fly this thing.
Yeah, I like to air it out.
Available in your grocer's freezer. Red Baron, proud to be the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators.
The Ford F-150 or the Toyota Tundra? Who's got the most standard horsepower? Well, with a big I-Force V8, the Tundra has 50 more horses than the F-150. With that much more standard horsepower, you'll always be in the passing lane. The full-size Toyota Tundra. Go ahead. Take our horses for a ride.
Just announced with available cash back and the sport package discount. Get $5,000 in total savings. Toyota, moving forward.
So what are we doing?
I don't know.
Keep it long, Rob. No, Rob.
Huh?
Messy.
Supercuts knows.
Shave it all off.
Decisions can be hard.
A little color would look good on you.
Thanks.
Supercuts.
I got it for you.
We know how it is.
Cash? You take cash?
Try Supercolor, quick, affordable hair color for men and women at participating Supercuts.
Gator volleyball returns home to face the Kentucky Wildcats on Sunday, October 2nd at 1:30. The first 1,000 fans get Gator backpacks courtesy of Gatorade. That's Lady Gator volleyball and Lady Wildcats on Sunday, October the 2nd. Florida 49, Kentucky 14 in the third quarter from Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington. And we got an email for you, Nat. Our Ask Nat coming from Bill in Lake City, and he wants to know what it's like to try and win on the road in the Southeastern Conference. How difficult is it, Nat?
Well, usually, you know, you hear everybody talk about the 12th man, and when you go into SEC stadiums, the fans are knowledgeable and they realize what effect they can have on the ball game. So it's extremely difficult. You got to have poise because it's very hard to hear as you try and get your adjustments out.
Raphael Little runs it across the 30 to the 31, a 6-yard carry. I think that's a good question and appropriate to this game, Nat, because this crowd was ready to give the Gators fits early in the game, and give Urban Meyer and his coaching staff credit, because some Florida teams in the past may have gotten rattled and might have struggled all day long, but Florida kept its composure and quickly got hold of the football game, and you had a 49-7 halftime score as a result. That's good coaching right there, and good preparation.
That's great coaching, because what you do is you say to your opponent right away, we are better than you are, and you know what? We're going to put this thing out of reach. They went ahead early in the ball game and put a lot of doubt in the minds of the football players, which automatically takes the fans out of the ball game.
Right, and it could have easily, Steve, gone the other way.
You know, I think the defense has a lot to do with it, too. I think you're right about the coaching staff keeping their poise, but I think the Gator defense bought the offense some time with those 3-and-out stops and really gave the offense a chance to get it going.
Woodson in the pocket. Incomplete, broken up by Reggie Lewis. And a pass intended for Glenn Holt. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats with 6:06 to play in the third quarter.
Reggie Lewis had great position that time and just went up a jump ball, and he did what you teach defensive backs to do, is to go up and try and catch it at the highest point, come very close to intercepting that football.
The give is to Little, picking his way up the middle. Reggie Nelson hit him, and then here comes help from those Gator defenders. They stack him up at the 42-yard line. A gain of 4 by the Kentucky Wildcats, Raphael Little.
And David, when you look at this Kentucky football team, they know they're outmanned, but you really don't see any quit in them. You know, I love the young running back, Raphael Little. He runs hard each and every time he's got the ball in his hands.
He is responsible for their one win. They were on the ropes against Idaho State. He ran a late kickback, 99 yards for a touchdown to pull that one out. Otherwise, they'd be 0-3 with a loss to a 1AA team. And yet they just played their hearts out against Louisville in their opener and really gave highly ranked Cardinals all they could handle. Jarvis Moss with pressure. And it'll be 4th down for the Wildcats.
Jarvis Moss doing a nice job. This is him out here. Now he starts upfield, works back inside, and the tackle, Fatu Turi just tries to trip him, but a nice job of getting the tackle started up outside and then working back inside and then getting the hit on the quarterback as Woodson, as he's trying to throw the football.
Mastay will punt and gets a hold of this one. Brown backpedaling, calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 8-yard line.
I like that. I like that. You know, you got a guy in your face. You don't have time to square up on him after making the catch. Go ahead and fair catch. Let's play offense. Got a brilliant offense. Scored 49 points today.
Let them do their thing. 50-yard punt by Mastay. Brown's fair catch gives the Gators the ball at the 8. Leading the Wildcats 49-14 in Lexington.
The Bun Board, the secret to preparing our toasted buns. Also, we just like saying it. Bun Board, Bun Board, Bun Board.
Other burgers are circular or rectangular.
But the steak burger is spectacular.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Bun board, bun board, bun board, bun board.
Hey, it's just free checking. It's got a free Platinum Visa check card. And that comes with free Regents rewards from Visa Extras. And that can earn you free luggage, free shopping, or even a free ticket to paradise. Hey, wait a minute. That's not just free checking.
I think we're overdressed.
That's Regents pre-checking. And that's what gives 5 million customers everyday confidence.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton extended cab with an MSRP of $28,880 for a Chevy employee discount price of $21,610 after cash back. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
College football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. Don't miss the Toyota Time nationwide clearance event, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Stop in today. We are back in Lexington at Commonwealth Stadium. A large crowd to begin the ball game, but a lot of Wildcat faithful have already headed for the parking lot and the post-game tailgate party, which should go well into the evening despite what is going to be another Wildcat loss. We still have a lot of football to play and a lot of storylines for the Gators, Nat, because we're going to get a look in the last quarter and a half at a lot of young players and see some young people begin to develop and become the kinds of SEC caliber football players that are going to help this team win tough games down the road.
And that's why you need games like this where you can get those guys some opportunity to play. But, you know, going back and, you know, you asked a question early on about when is the last time two Gator receivers
You've
go
done
over
your homework,
yards.
haven't you?
No, the crack team in the truck has done their homework, and it was Rashae Caldwell with 115 yards and Jabbar Gaffney 101 yards versus Tennessee back in 2001. So outstanding job by the guys in the truck.
Josh Portis keeping the football and hit behind the line of scrimmage once again. That's Woodyard in on another tackle for Kentucky. Portis, the freshman, recruited by Urban Meyer to go to Utah. And then when Meyer took the job at Florida, shifted gears and headed east.
I tell you what, though, you know, sometimes you have so much talent, David, that you try and do a lot of things on your own. I don't care if you're a quarterback throwing the football or a quarterback that has great running ability. You'd like to see Portis pitch the ball every now and then just so that they know he'll do that.
Going to keep it again. And tripped up across the 15 to the 16. About 3 yards short of a Florida first down. Schuler on the tackle for the Kentucky Wildcats, who look like a tired football team. They don't have a lot of depth for Rich Brooks to rotate other defenders in there. So Urban Meyer's Florida Gators continue to run that offense as Meyer and Portis, who connected in their recruiting days. Meyer at Utah, Portis, a great quarterback at Woodland Hills, California. Freshman rolling out, throwing a strike denying Boateng. Boateng, his first collegiate catch, and out he comes to the 38-yard line. Brought down by Williams.
Boateng is a 6'2" freshman that showed some niftiness there, able to break the tackle and then turn up field. Comes wide open. Nice job of catching the ball in his hands, David. Then spins back to the inside, picks up the additional yardage to get the Gators great field position out to the 38-yard line.
A couple of freshmen getting a chance today. Lewis Murphy is split wide to the right. Number 82, and a handoff straight up the middle. It's Keyston Moore, another freshman, running the ball across the 50 to the Kentucky 45-yard line.
See what happens when you hand it off to the fullback every time you did.
Break it open a bit.
Or should I say the tailback. Nice run by Moore. Good blocking up front by that second unit on the offensive line of Jason Watkins, Steve Rissler, Ronnie Wilson, Drew Miller, and Phil Trotwine.
Gators send the 2 freshmen, Murphy and Boateng, to the left. Casey and Dickey, Gavin Dickey wide to the right. And the Gators toss the ball to Marcus Manson. Manson is tripped up at the Kentucky 43. Manson, Urban Meyer, one thing about him, he'll be honest about situations. And he said, look, Manson looks great running the ball, but he's got to take care of the football. And he has not been pleased with that aspect of the game for Marcus in practice.
You just got to learn how to carry the football. You get away with so many things in high school because you're so much better than the guys you're playing against. And then as you get to the next level and everybody has equal talent, you have to learn how to protect the football so it doesn't get snatched out.
Same thing goes for Josh Portis. Coaching staff has said the same thing about the freshman quarterback. Manson carries the redshirt freshman from Tuscaloosa to the Wildcat 40-yard line. Going to be 4 yards short of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Gators, who are running the clock in the 3rd quarter, controlling the football, leading 49-7 at the half. Have not added any points in the 3rd quarter, but Urban Meyer trotted out his number 2 defense to start the 2nd half, and we've seen mostly second-team offensive players as well. The Gators send Richard Morgan wide to the right. The backup wide receiver. Portis sends Gavin Dickey in motion. Kyle Morgan, rather. He said Richard, it's Kyle, and on the option, it's Portis keeping and running out of bounds at the 27-yard line of Kentucky, but there is a flag down on the play. Referee Thomas Ritter discussing it with his crew, and it will go against the Gators.
And I guess the key becomes, David, where they mark this off from, because
the spot,
the Gators had a first down. And if it's 15 yards from the infraction,
during the run, clipping number 28 on the offense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, replay 3rd down.
Kyle Morgan trying to throw a downfield block, and the ball comes back to the 43.
You hate to see it, but you still have to love the effort. Kyle Morgan, a senior wide receiver out of Melbourne, Florida, out there throwing his body around, trying to help spring a receiver or a quarterback, a runner, into the end zone.
Manson is split wide to the right. Murphy is wide to the left. Boateng in the slot to the left. Gavin Dickey slot right. Portis in trouble. Shifting around back there. Now looking, he had Dickey but didn't see him in time and throws it instead from Murphy, and the pass is incomplete. Well, Gavin Dickey had 15 yards on the defender back at the goal line, but Portis was too busy running for his life.
Running for his life, and that's the one, or should I say a ball, that should have been caught by Lewis Murphy. You know, it's just a good job of scrambling around, and Lewis Murphy is wide open. Ball's a little bit behind him, but one that you'd like to see the young fella make.
Florida will punt the ball again. Only the 3rd time today. Little standing deep at the 10-yard line. And this is Nick Fleming punting the ball, and it trickles into the end zone. So Fleming, the punter, instead of Eric Wilbur, who might have been shaken up on that tackle he made on the last punt.
Yeah, it looked like when Eric came up and made the hit, he was a little woozy going to the sideline. So Nick Fleming gets a chance to come in and show the coaches what he can do.
And the Wildcats bring the ball out to the 20 as the Fleming punt trickles into the end zone. So Kentucky with the ball. They have 1 second-half touchdown on their first possession. The 3rd quarter, now with only 54 seconds left.
And David, a lot of times what happens when you get that second unit in there, you know, they're so busy trying to impress the coaching staff, trying to make a play, that they just don't take care of their responsibility. If you stay in your gap, you do what you're supposed to do and trust the fact that your teammates are going to take care of business on the other side of you.
Good point.
Early the first drive, a couple times guys got out of their lane, and Raphael Little was able to run right up the middle. You had the potential sack that didn't happen, but the second time around, they've done a nice job shutting them down, forcing them to kick the football. Let's see if they can do it again.
Well, and the situation for Kentucky is something like this. They started the year with only 69 players on scholarship. Now, how, you ask? Well, the reason is they spent a couple of years on probation. Their scholarships were reduced by the NCAA, 19 scholarships between 02 and 04. So their numbers are down. I think they came into today with only 65 scholarship players. They gave 11 walk-on players a scholarship to start the year. And then you've had a series of injuries, 8 starters or key players out for extended period of time this year, 4 of those out for the season. And Florida fans can relate to this, Nat, because back in the mid to late 80s, after the probation, which I think took effect 84, 85, you had 86, 87, 88, 89, not really great years in Florida football history. And I thought Galen Hall and his people did a great job coaching a team with reduced scholarship athletes. I don't think they had a losing season in that time. So, but it was tough, and you lose those scholarships, and it's very difficult to compete in the Southeastern Conference. And then injuries on top of it for Kentucky.
Yeah, when you lose that many scholarships, you can't make a mistake on your recruitment. The few scholarships that you're able to give out, they've got to be big hits for you, and guys that's going to play for 4 years and help your team, because you give out 35, sometimes 25. It just depends on what you've got available. But when you start thinking that you can give out that many scholarships, you can miss on some kids and you're okay. But when you have a reduction and you only have 15, 20 scholarships each year to give away, you cannot miss with those guys.
You're right. I tell you, who covered for a lot of those missed scholarships was a guy by the name of Emmett Smith in the late 80s for the Gators. That was responsible probably for 3 or 4 wins per year. So you're right. You take him off of those late 80s teams, those scholarship reduced rosters, and Florida wasn't very good.
Yeah, well, Emmett's probably one of the best, if not the best, running back to ever do it in college football. And once he made it to the pros, he showed you that it didn't matter. He can do it anywhere.
Exactly. That's the end of the third quarter, with Florida still on top of Kentucky in a big way. 49-14 is our score. Wildcats added a touchdown early in the third, and then Urban Meyer brought on his second unit offensively and defensively. We'll see more of the same. Some young Gators on the field in the fourth period.
Take your taste to a different place. Take your taste to Dixie Crossroads.
The one and only Dixie Crossroads is now 2 and only, with our second location now open at Festival Bay in Orlando. Now you can take your taste to either one of our restaurants for a mouth-watering treat that will pleasure your palate and your pocketbook. So bring the whole family and enjoy.
Take your taste to a different place. Take your taste to Dixie Crossroads.
Light up the night with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. The only Friday night college football show in the nation. Live this week, Go All Access as Miami invites the Bulls down south. Plus, find out what Urban has in store for the Crimson Tide. Start your Chevy tailgate Saturday weekend with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
And it is gone, and the Marlins are down 1-0. Here it comes. The Marlin fans want no part of that one. We're going to send it right back to the outfield.
Well, the Gator fans are still well attended here at Commonwealth Stadium, hanging in for the fourth quarter, with Florida leading Kentucky 49-14 as we head to the final 15 minutes. Don't forget, Friday at 7 on Sun Sports, Rec Warehouse College Kickoff gets a jump start on the weekend of college football. Your host, Whit Watson, along with Brady Ackerman and Terry Norvell, break down the game. You'll find out how you could win the ultimate game room as well. Rec Warehouse College Kickoff, that's Friday night at 7, only on Sun Sports. Terrific college football coverage on Sun Sports with Chevy Tailgate Saturday, breakfast with the Gators, and a big Rec Warehouse pregame show. Boy, a hot afternoon here in Lexington, Kentucky. But the Gator fans still jumping around with joy. Their team up 49-14. Our fourth quarter storyline recap brought to you by Regions Bank. Florida's offensive line, defensive line rather, even without Ray McDonald-Nat, they've done a terrific job against Kentucky. Deshawn Wynn and Skylar Thornton, Marcus Manson, Keyston Moore have all done a nice job. Wynn has carried the load primarily. And you got to say that Jamal Cornelius has turned it up a notch in place of Andre Caldwell.
Well, Jamal Cornelius has always done what he could with the opportunities given. And
there's a pick by the Gators, their third of the game. And it is all the way down to the 7-yard line as Joyner picks off Andre Woodson.
And he catches this ball popped up in the air, but there was a devastating hit put on the receiver, and he's actually still down, David. But a crushing hit by the Gator defense, and it's out here to your left as Hope goes to take the catch, and I think that was Reggie Lewis, that the cornerback, that put the hit on Glenn Hope. And Tony Joyner just in the neighborhood does a nice job catching the football and then turning upfield, picking up his blockers, giving the Gators great field position down inside the 10-yard line.
A very nice run back by Joyner, the sophomore from Haines City. And the injured player looks like he's going to be okay, so that's good news for Kentucky. They certainly don't need any more bad news in the injury department.
That was
Reggie Lewis that hit him.
That was a big hit by Reggie Lewis. A receiver turned cornerback, and I guess it must be nice to be the one delivering the hit, not taking the hit for a change.
Oh, yeah. Tony Joyner, a great two-way player in high school. Had 10 interceptions in high school. That's his first in college. On the pitch, Portis to Manson. And the Wildcats take him out at the 10-yard line. Terrific pursuit by Kentucky, number 51, Johnny Williams, a freshman backup linebacker from Neptune Beach. Ball is at the 10-yard line. Second down for the Florida Gators in the fourth quarter. Gators led 49-7 at the half and have pretty much kept the ball on the ground with freshman quarterback Josh Portis for most of the second half of the game. The freshman will keep and run up the middle. Ball pops loose. It's picked up by the Wildcats. And Kentucky has the fumble. Recovered by Richard Gray, number 53, a senior out of Sevierville, Tennessee. And that's what Urban Meyer's talking about. These freshmen, Manson and Portis, you've got to take care of the football.
Just got to learn to put it away. You know, most quarterbacks are not used to carrying the football. And right here, as he goes down, he ducks his head, and the ball just comes out. Didn't look like anybody knocked it out. It's just he never had it tucked away properly, David.
Well, that's the Gators' first turnover of the ball game, only their second of the year.
And both fumbles have come via the quarterback on a scramble.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, Chris Leak earlier in the year, and now Josh Portis.
Florida has 3 interceptions today. That's so they've taken 3 away. That's the first time they've given it to Kentucky. Still leading 49-7. Wildcats with the ball at their 7.
Our hours? All of them.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
How does Supercuts know how it is?
So what are we thinking? This is Brad's girlfriend. Make him look like a naughty little monkey.
No, we need something respectable for little Philip's christening. Don't push me.
Okay, how about something hot for the ladies, yet conservative enough for Philip's big day?
How did...
Give me that. Give me that.
Supercuts. We know how it is.
Supercuts has the best trained stylists in the most convenient locations. Call 1-800-SUPERCUTS for a store near you.
If you're looking for answers from an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to help you save money by doing it yourself. Get ready for certified experts who are ready to help. Get ready for answers on any project you can easily understand. Get ready for in-depth information from Advance TV, our exclusive in-store how-to network. Get ready to go from no way to know how. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance.
Football on Sun Sports is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Now with over 1,400 offices, Regions proudly offers its customers free access to over 1,600 ATMs across 15 states. Regions Bank. Now that's banking with confidence. Back in Lexington, the Florida Gators 49, the Kentucky Wildcats 14. David Steele, Nat Moore, and on the field, Steve Babick. Let's check in with Babs.
We've talked all season how well the defense has played, especially in the secondary. Let's take a look. The secondary coaches grade the play of their guys by simply looking at the play and could he have made it. In other words, they'll look at a player and say, was he in position to make a play? You'll see a highlight here of a deflection. Cornell Brown, that's a play made. He had a chance to make it. He makes it. He gets a check for in the good column. We'll see another play. D. Webb gets a hand on the ball. Another knockdown. D. Webb was 8 for 8 on the plays. Now we'll take a look today. Tony Joyner comes through. And Tony Joyner will, tomorrow when they grade him, will be in the same way. Basically, the coaches looked at last week's game against Tennessee. The defensive secondary made 34 of 38 plays. Jarvis Herring, 11 for 11. D. Webb, 8 for 8. When you have guys like that, and Doc Holliday knows how well his guys are playing in the secondary, when you have plays like that, and now add a young Tony Joyner to the mix, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games.
Well, Tony Joyner, and don't forget Reggie Lewis. He's the guy that popped it up in the air, had the big hit to shake it loose. So, outstanding play by the Gator secondary.
I think Urban Meyer's Champions Club might have some new members tomorrow, as freshman linebacker John Demps and Harvey and Brian Crum all drive Woodson back out of the end zone. He's upset about it. These young guys are anxious and excited to be out there. The true freshman from Pensacola out of Washington High School, Demps.
Well, that time, as Arliss Beach tried to run it up the middle, he got met by a host of Gator defenders, and they just start driving him back. It looked like he was backpedaling.
Second down for the Wildcats. Their 10-yard line. Quarterback Andre Woodson has gone the distance. Hand off to Beach. Beach trying to turn the corner, but Reggie Lewis is out there along with John Demps. And they make the play.
And David, looking at this Kentucky football team and realizing that Andre Woodson is your guy, what's interesting is we still have not seen the backup, Curtis Pulley, who last week played some wide receiver as well as a few plays of offense at the quarterback, that with a game out of reach, that they're not trying to get him some experience as well.
Woodson had played very well coming into this game here against the Gators, but Florida's defense just too much for Woodson and this Kentucky offense. Beach with a catch, and Kentucky picks up a first down out to the 22-yard line.
And there we see Coach Charlie Strong making a correction with Brian Crum. Brian Crum, at the start of that play, was not sure where he was supposed to line up. And in the process, his man's the one that catches the football to pick up the first down. Here's a good look at Cooley. Number 15, Curtis Cooley, a freshman out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, that awaits his turn to get some action.
Wildcats with the first down at their 22. Play action, rolling left is Woodson. And Drobny has the catch, but was off balance and can't do anything with it. Jeremiah Drobny, a senior tight end out of Massillon. That's Ohio, with only his second catch of the year.
Well, I tell you, Drobny had plenty of running room if he's able to catch this ball in the air. Bad throw by Woodson. forces him to go down and catch it falling down.
Second down for the Wildcats, and a flag is dropped before the ball is snapped. So the officials checking it out. Let me remind you that a programming note: due to Hurricane Rita's impact on the Sun Sports Master Control Facility in Houston, Texas, today's coverage of Gator football, originally scheduled to air on Sun Sports, is being seen on FSN Florida, and we hope you're enjoying today's game. And as far as I'm concerned, Nat, and I'm sure you agree, hurricane season can end anytime it wants to.
No, I'd like to see it end now.
We're all ready.
We've been threatened enough there in South Florida. And,
you have.
when you look at what the people on the Gulf Coast are going through week after week, it's rough.
Raphael Little carries the football. Boy, the Gators have some big games coming up on the road in the Southeastern Conference. They get their introduction to the road here today in the conference against Kentucky, but it'll get much stronger the next few weeks with Alabama and LSU down the line. And a big game in Jacksonville with the Georgia Bulldogs.
South Carolina's
on the road too. But a whole lot better sitting at 4-0 than anything but that. And that's what the Gators are going to be after this one. Someone jumped off sides for the Gators. Jarvis Moss got a start, so a free play for Kentucky, and Raphael Little is chased out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Billy Latsko made the tackle. Billy, the do-it-all linebacker, tight end, fullback, special teams, whatever you want.
It's called put me in, coach. I don't care where. I'll get the job done. And Billy is a perfect example of that. Earlier we saw him on a lead play where he helped Deshawn Wynn on a 2-yard plunge. And now he's on defense making tackles. So, excellent football player.
Billy's got 13 career receptions coming out of the backfield as a fullback and 2 touchdown receptions.
Roughing passer on the defense, blow to the head, 15 yards, first down.
Roughing the passer against the Gators. Now that's not going to go over too well with Mr. Strong and Madison either, is it?
No, and the Gators have played pretty well this afternoon, not having as many penalties as they've had earlier, but now you see they're starting to take effect as these young guys are making mistakes to help keep the drive alive. First you got an offside, then you get a roughing the quarterback penalty. Got to watch the football. You can't try and anticipate the snap count.
Woodson rolling. Alford had a chance for the sack, and the ball is deflected around and incomplete. At least 2 Wildcats and maybe 2 Gators had a chance to catch that ball when it started popping around. Intended for Drobny, the tight end. And Alford had Woodson in his grasp back there. That's big number 99. Latrell Alford, a sophomore from Gainesville.
Well, last time we were here, if you remember, Kentucky had the ball game, and big Jared Lorenzen tried to throw the ball in the grabs, and it led to the interception that cost him the football game. There you saw Woodson doing a similar thing and came very close to being intercepted.
Woodson's pass caught by Little. He broke a tackle from Lewis and stepped out of bounds at the 27. Well, Woodson he's been gutsy today, standing in there and taking a lot of hits, and a nice catch and run by Raphael Little.
Well, here's Little right here. He's just going to circle out of the backfield, a little fake action. There you see Billy Latsko get sucked up, as well as Reggie Lewis. You've got to know who they like to throw the ball to, and if there's no one in your area, he's circling out. You got to get close to him in a hurry. You can't give him any space. He's too elusive.
Kentucky trying to put a 4th quarter touchdown on the board. Woodson breaks the tackle of Lewis and picks up another Kentucky first down inside the 15-yard line at about the 14.
Woodson looked like he's in a lot of pain. He's taking some punishment and wisely got out of bounds after he picked up the first down. Tough kid.
Andre Woodson, the sophomore from Radcliffe, Kentucky. He's got RIP 51 on his shoe. That's in honor of a high school teammate of his who tragically died recently. The pass is caught by Scott Mitchell. Young man's name, Antonio Stateman, died in May of this spring. And Woodson honoring his fallen friend with those words on his shoe. So he's a courageous young player here, Andre Woodson, showing a lot of courage. His team down 49-14, and he's taken a lot of shots from this rugged Florida defense today.
He's gonna spend some time in the whirlpool next week. No question.
Florida's defense trying to keep the Wildcats out of the end zone. Woodson lobbing it up for Mitchell. Avery Atkins is there and breaks up the play, but a flag is dropped on Florida's freshman cornerback, Avery Atkins.
Well, David, I like the play by Avery Atkins. He was beat. But once you take the penalty, you get to line up and play another down. I mean, it's half the distance to the goal line. So you take the penalty. You know, you're isolated on Scott Mitchell, who is 6'3". You know that you can't get up with him. So right there, he just goes into him, strips him of the football, got there a little early.
Be placed at the 2-yard line, automatic first down.
2-yard line. That was half the distance. Even still, it gives you a chance to line up and play another down rather than giving up the touchdown.
First down and goal for the Wildcats. Arliss Beach, and the new quarterback is Curtis Poley. So the freshman quarterback will get an opportunity to put the Wildcats into the end zone. And they're going to roll him out. Poley trying to sweep it in for the score, and he does. There is a flag down, however, back at about the 2 on the near side of the field, so we'll have to check that out.
And I think Florida's going to hit for being offside.
Offside. 19 on the defense. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Well, Curtis Poley, a run pass threat in high school. Kentucky's Mr. Football. He ran for 54 touchdowns, as a quarterback in his high school career, and passed for 64 more. So those are some big numbers.
I just want to know, what did the running backs get?
Not much.
You love to see a young man with that kind of talent, showcase it not only in high school, but even here this afternoon with the Wildcats.
Begley's extra point is good. And I suppose Kentucky can take some solace in that they have outscored the Gators 14-0 in the second half, with Poley carrying it in for the score. But Florida dominating the ball game early on, building a huge 49-7 halftime lead, and our score now 49-21 Gators.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton extended cab with an MSRP of $28,880 for a Chevy employee discount price of $21,610 after cash back. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Hey, it's just free checking. It's got a free Platinum Visa check card. And that comes with free Regents rewards from Visa Extras. And that can earn you free luggage, free shopping, or even a free ticket to paradise. Hey, wait a minute. That's not just free checking.
I think we're overdressed.
That's Regents pre-checking. And that's what gives 5 million customers everyday confidence.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Behold, a salad that speaks to me, my individuality. McDonald's new sesame ginger premium salad. Lush with snow peas, edamame, oranges of the mandarin persuasion. Glazing chicken warm and tender, I surrender to Newman's own low-fat dressing. Dancing, romancing every crispy, crunchy bite. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. I believe I have achieved salad inner peace.
Well, Kentucky scores its third touchdown of the game to cut the lead to 49-21 on the run by Curtis Pulley. That score set up by a Florida mistake, a fumble on the part of the Gators. Let's check in with Steve Babick.
David and Nat, you guys touched upon what Urban Meyer talks about ball security and maybe why a Manson or a Thornton or even a Portis maybe not getting as much time. He talks about the wrist above the elbow, not below the elbow. He does not want to see the wrist below the elbow and having the ball out like this. He wants the wrist above the elbow, and in practice, he keeps track of that. If he sees a player lax at that and it's below the elbow, they're not going to play. If they are able to maintain consistency, keep the wrist above the elbow, they got a better chance to see the field.
Well, Steve, I'll tell you the secret to that, being an old running back that used to like to tote the mail, the key is anytime you can see both points of the football, you know as a defender you can get it out. If you can't see the point of the football that's stuck in your armpit, then you've got a chance.
Here's an onside kick recovered by David Jones, and the Wildcats are at the Florida 40-yard line. They surprised the Gators as Florida had Brian Crum in the area, but he couldn't come up with the ball, and David Jones just leaped up into the air and grabbed it.
Well, the Gators had Darren Robinson as well as Keyston Moore in the area, and they seem as if they're not sure what to do. You know, David, you can fair catch some of these, but now because it hits the ground first, it becomes a live ball, so you can't fair catch it. You know, so you've got to go up and get the football. You can't wait for it to come down the way the Gator receivers did that time.
Curtis Pulley stays in the game at quarterback for Kentucky. Pulley scored on the ground a moment ago. Hands the ball off to Alexi Begenge, getting his first call of the football game. Begenge, he's had some moments at Kentucky through a pretty good football career, but has dropped down to third or fourth string tailback. There's a good look at Pulley out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. His numbers in high school are video game like numbers. It's just ridiculous what he did. You wonder who the opposition was against Hopkinsville High School, but he's got a lot of talent, though, no doubt about it. Pulley will keep and run it. Moss had him in his grasp, but he tossed the ball back somehow to Raphael Little. It looked like Pulley was down, and all of a sudden the ball popped out of there. And the freshman had made a heads-up play.
Well, David, this is an outstanding play strictly because it works. You know, the Gators have got him in the grabs right there. Nice job. He's falling down. It looked like his knee was down, but he just pitches the ball back. You know, you could pitch that ball back not looking, and if Raphael Little doesn't make the reception, the Gators got the ball going the other way. So very dangerous play, but outstanding play by the young man.
Pulley working against Florida's second-team defense, which has struggled here in the second half rather. Varlas Beach on that shovel pass forward. Gets a Kentucky first down at about the 19-yard line.
Arliss Beach just tucks in behind the big pile. The Gators are trying to search out the football and really doesn't see Beach, and all of a sudden, here he is right here. Watch the pile. He's right there behind the pile. Now he just pops through as guys are trying to locate the football, don't know that he has it because they can't see the shovel pass behind the line of scrimmage.
Kentucky with 2 second-half touchdowns, trying to get a third. And it is Pulley on the keep to the 10. Pulley, the freshman, touchdown Wildcats. So an onside kick and some nice running by freshman quarterback Curtis Pulley.
And David,
the Wildcats make it a 49-27 game.
And David, this is not good because, you know, even if you want to bring back your starters, you know, they've cooled down now. You know, there's a risk in trying to bring them back in the ball game, but this second team is just being totally dominated offensively by the offensive line of the Kentucky Wildcats.
Begley's extra point makes it 49-28, a 3-touchdown game now after the Gators led 49-7 at the end of the first half.
Here's another look at it. This is just a quarterback draw all the way, and you see the defensive linemen all out of their lanes. If the defensive end is taking an outside rush, the tackle has got to be in the next lane. And that time he stunted inside, and there was a big hole for Pulley to run through.
Well, the freshman now with 2 touchdown runs in this fourth quarter of play. The Gators still lead it by 3 touchdowns.
Chevy's proud to have the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Suburban, ranked highest in initial quality. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them with the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Get an 05 Silverado half-ton extended cab with an MSRP of $28,880 for a Chevy employee discount price of $21,610 after cash back. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Tragedy can happen anytime, any place, to anyone. When the winds of disaster fade, one organization is always there. An army of compassion. Help turn tragedy into recovery. 1-800-SALARMY.org.
Light up the night with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. The only Friday night college football show in the nation. Live this week, Go All Access as Miami invites the Bulls down south. Plus, find out what Urban has in store for the Crimson Tide. Start your Chevy tailgate Saturday weekend with Rec Warehouse College Kickoff. Friday at 7, only on Sun Sports.
College football on Sun Sports has been brought to you in part by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. By Chevrolet, see your local Chevy dealer. Chevy, turn the key, start a revolution. Florida quarterback Chris Leak was warming up in the bullpen during that timeout, so he might return. With 6:49 left, Florida's offense has been goose-egged in the second half after scoring 7 first-half touchdowns. But the second offensive unit has struggled under freshman Josh Portis, and Florida's second-team defense has surrendered to Kentucky 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Gators have their hands team end, expecting the onside kick not to get fooled again.
Kentucky executed a successful onside kick moments ago and then put it in for the score. This time they'll kick it deep. And the ball is going to be downed by Dickey in the end zone. So the clock stopped with 6:49 to play. And Chris Leak is going to re-enter at quarterback for the Gators.
Looks like the starting unit is going to come back and try and put this game out of reach. Kentucky came storming back against Louisville in the opening game after Louisville got a big lead and came very close to winning that ball game, David.
Yeah, they lost by just a touchdown to the highly regarded Cardinals. Not only is Leak back in the game, but he's got Dallas Baker and Jamal Cornelius. And Leak is dropped for a sack back at the 7-yard line. Ventrell Jenkins, a true freshman from Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, Jenkins gets this sack.
Young guys.
This is a coverage sack, and this is a mistake by Chris Leak this time, David. As Jenkins comes in, Chris has got all day, but eventually you've got to get rid of the football. There's nobody open. You've got to move the way he was moving in the first half, avoiding some of that rush.
Offensive line, first unit back in the game. Leak back in the game. Here comes the blitz, and the screen is set up perfectly. Skylar Thornton races across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And a tackle for the Wildcats made by Johnny Williams. Here's a youngster out of Neptune Beach, Florida.
David, that screen looked like it was set up to get big yardage, and the Gators are just not getting the yardage out of the screen pass that they should as they set it up. They're not getting the proper blocks downfield to spring the guy for a big play.
Well, the Kentucky fans that are still in the stadium, many are on their feet, encouraging the defense to stop Florida on a 3rd down and 3. Flag is dropped. Leak rifles it for Jackson. He cannot hold on at the 47. But there is a flag down. It's going to be against Florida.
Go stiff on the offense. 2 players moving. They did not get set for a second. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And David, that's one of the risks. You know, you want to get the young guys playing time, but you lose that momentum, you lose that rhythm. That time, even though it would have been called back, you know, that's a catch that Chad Jackson makes 9 out of 10 times, and he's not able to make the play.
Nick Fleming is back to punt the ball for the Florida Gators. That's Little deep to receive. And Fleming's punt hits at the 50, takes a Florida bounce, picked up by Little. And Little skips forward to the 48-yard line. Good field position for the Wildcats. As they have outscored the Gators 21-0 in the second half of the game and still trail by 3 touchdowns.
Well, a
strange
nice
game.
I tell you what, talking about Raphael Little and all the things that he does, that was a nice job of handling a punt that normally with people around you, the ball bouncing around, you don't touch it. He catches it on the hop and makes a play.
And that Florida's #1 unit on defense is back in the game. How difficult is it to stand over there for so long and now they ask to come back and try and finish it out?
Well, you just hope that they're loose and they've stretched well coming back where they don't pull anything. You know, the last thing you want to do now is get one of those guys injured in a game that you should have already been able to put to rest.
Now, Kentucky traditionally has given the Gators tough games here in Lexington. This one looked like it was going to be a complete rout, but Kentucky making it a little interesting here in the 4th period. And last year in Gainesville, the Wildcats, they gave the Gators all they could handle. Florida only able to score 20 points in this football game. Faison had a big night running the ball and catching the ball as well. Faison ran for over 200 yards.
210 yards, and
Florida won it by 17.
But the difference was the Gators moved up and down the field, David, and once they got inside the red zone, they weren't able to get it in. They turned the ball over inside the red zone 3 or 4 times down there.
Leak last year against Kentucky had some big numbers, but did throw the interceptions. And now it's Florida's defense that's back in the game. After the #1 defense essentially gave up no points in the first half, Kentucky scored after they blocked a punt early and only had a 16-yard drive to get 7 points on the board. But after that, the Gators, the Florida offense reeled off 7 unanswered touchdowns, rolling to a 49-7 halftime lead. Urban Meyer started his 2nd unit defense to get the 3rd quarter going, and Kentucky quickly scored a touchdown. And the Wildcats really have had the momentum in the second half of the game. But the #5 ranked Florida Gators still on top by 3 touchdowns as Deshawn Wynn looks on from the sideline. Pulley hands off. Little is hit in the gap by Mincy. And David, it didn't take Mincy long to get warmed up again, did it?
I hope we've got another shot of this in the pit, because the Gators come with a corner blitz, and it's about trust. You know, got a corner blitz coming outside. Mincy hits the inside gap, and he's in the right position to make the play.
We do have some youngsters in the secondary. Pulley's pass is caught. It is Scott Mitchell. Jackson chasing him and drags him out of bounds inside the 30 at about the 29.
Now, here's what happens when you get an inexperienced corner trying to make the play. Tremaine McCullough is out at the right corner. He's the right side of your screen. As the ball's thrown to Scott, he tries to tip it away. If you're going to make that play, David, you got to make sure you can make it. You cannot miss it and allow the receiver to catch it, because there's no one there to stop him from turning upfield, as Scott Mitchell does there.
Jermaine McCollum in the ball game at that right quarterback position on that last play, but now Vernell Brown is back in the game. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Florida 30. Pulley steps up on the quarterback draw and is brought down by big 93 Stephen Harris. The juniors played well. Of course, the offense and defense first unit, they only played one half of football until having to be brought back in here.
Well, and when you look at this defense, you know, the first unit knows where they're supposed to be and they trust each other. That's why when you see Curtis Pulley running that quarterback draw, you see guys in the gaps where they're supposed to be instead of out of their gaps, everybody trying to go to the quarterback, and you get tricked with the quarterback draw. That time the Gators were in perfect position to hold him to a 2-yard gain. It's about, you know, one thing I love when I talk to Urban Meyer, when I listen to Urban Meyer, he talks about trust. Each player trusting each other. And that's what it takes to play defense as well as offense.
Florida's first defensive unit obviously grasped that. And Florida coaches must be wondering about the second unit right about now. We'll be back.
Back up, yes it's on. Word is born till the break of dawn. Got the mic in my hand and the crowd is mine. Let me spit it to you one more time.
With its Hemi power and muscular styling.
Nice car, mister.
Nice bike. It can make anyone feel like one bad dude. Charger, unleashed.
The Ford F-150 or the Toyota Tundra. With available traction control, those Ford Tundra wheels are gripping that slippery ramp like a lotto winner grips $1 million ticket. So tight you won't be thinking, can I yank that boat out of there? No, let the guys in an F-150 without traction control worry about stuff like that. The full-size Toyota Tundra. Get a grip.
Just announced with available cash back and the sport package discount. Get $5,000 in total savings. Toyota, moving forward.
How does Supercuts know how it is?
So what are we thinking?
This is Brad's girlfriend. Make him look like a naughty little monkey.
No, we need something respectable for little Philip's christening. Don't push me.
Okay, how about something hot for the ladies, yet conservative enough for Philip's big day?
How did...
Give me that! Give me that!
Supercuts. We know how it is.
For the Supercuts location nearest you, call 1-800-SUPERCUTS or log on to supercuts.com.
Clock stopped with 4:20 to play in the fourth quarter from Lexington, Kentucky. The 5th-ranked Florida Gators still hold a 3-touchdown lead over Kentucky. But the Wildcats with 3 second-half touchdowns, and they are threatening to score again. Kentucky has 138 yards in the fourth quarter alone. And the Gators are negative yardage. They set up the screen for Mitchell. He breaks away from Joyner. But Avery Atkins is on the scene to make the stop. And along with Stephen Harris, brings down Mitchell at the 26-yard line. We are at the 4-minute mark. D-Webb not on the field, watching from the sideline is Avery Atkins. Playing one cornerback spot for the Gators, the freshman. Pulley fakes the pass, now steps up and runs it across the 25 and is shoved out of bounds by McCullough at the 18-yard line. But Kentucky picks up another first down, and Pulley stops the clock by stepping out of bounds.
And this is Avery Atkins, who goes for the old pump fake. I mean, that's something you do in the sandlot football. You pump fake, you get the guy to jump up, and then you just run right by him. Outstanding play by Curtis Pulley, picking up a first down on what should have been a sack.
This freshman from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, has shown us something in the fourth quarter for the Wildcats. He has carried for 2 touchdowns and running the show for the Wildcats once again. Pulley steps up, he'll run again. Pulley breaks free from Vernell Brown. Tripped up by Harris at the 12. This time he did not get out of bounds. Kentucky does have 2 timeouts left. But he is an elusive, very strong quarterback. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. And Look at those fourth quarter yards. -3 for the Gators. 155 for Kentucky. That's a good thing the Gators put complete game numbers up in the first half because they needed it here.
Oh man, this is amazing. All of a sudden you can't get a stop.
Second down and short. Pulley's pass caught by Mitchell as Brown went for the interception. And then Everett wraps him up, stops his forward progress. We're now just a split second late on that play.
And Pulley gets that ball out of his hands in a hurry. He knows where he wants to go with the football, and he gets it out there. There's very little reaction time for these corners.
And the Wildcats are going to use their second of 3 second-half timeouts with 2:36 on the clock. And Curtis Pulley coming to the Kentucky sideline. Well, Urban Meyer and his coaching staff, they were breezing through this ball game at the half, 49-7 that, but they are going to have plenty of things to talk about and work on with this team after this second half.
You know, and David, most times coaches will not, and I repeat that, will not start playing their second and third units until the fourth quarter when the game's totally out of reach. But I know that Urban Meyer and his staff want to get these young guys, the backups, some playing experience, some playing time, some quality minutes. So they came out and did it in the third quarter and looked like it's coming back to haunt them.
Yeah. Well, you'd like to have confidence in your second units, and they showed a lot of confidence, both offensively and defensively. But I'm sure Urban Meyer's going to say, look, you guys got to earn it from now on.
Got to earn it.
I'm not going to just hand it to you now. You can't come out and do what you've done here. Because Kentucky has dominated this ball game in the second half. Little returns to the backfield as freshman quarterback Curtis Pulley under center at the 9. It's third down and less than a yard for the Wildcats. And they're going to go for the first down and get it. Rich Brooks, the head coach for the Wildcats, under fire all week long after a horrible performance last week against a mediocre at best Indiana team.
And looked like the Wildcats have a player down.
Another injured player. But in Rich Brooks, you're talking about a 2-time Pac-10 Coach of the Year at Oregon. So, he's got NFL coaching experience. A terrific job at Oregon for many years, 77 through 94.
Well, and the thing that it takes, David, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who the coach is. You've got to have talent. You've got to have the players, because no matter how much coaching you do, how you get these guys prepared, when you get between those white lines, the players have to perform. The players have got to make the plays. And, they come in and be missing 19 scholarships and trying to recruit in a football college, or should I say a football university, a basketball university. It's a tough road, very tough road. But given time, I think he'll get it turned around. He's got an excellent coaching staff.
Led by Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator, who has an impressive resume, former head coach at LSU and also a longtime NFL coach. His staff is stacked with NFL coaching experience and solid college coaching experience as well. That's Fatu Turi, I think, number 52, the injured player. There's Coach Archer, who certainly didn't have to come to the University of Kentucky as an assistant coach. Very successful assistant coach in the NFL with the Steelers, and he's got a daughter that is a manager on the team. He's got a son that's a walk-on football player for Kentucky, so he made a decision to come and coach for the Wildcats. It is first down and goal for the Kentucky Wildcats at the Florida 7-yard line. Pulley lobs it for the corner of the end zone. Jump ball, and Mitchell's got it, but it's incomplete. Apparently he stepped out of bounds back there deep in the corner, then came back in. Vernell Brown was covering. Let's get another look here.
Well, here he is out here, and this is Vernell Brown, just matched up. He goes outside. Now right here, steps out of bounds, go both feet. There you go, right there, both feet out of bounds, and then he comes back in and makes the catch.
And he knew it. No argument from Scott Mitchell.
I would hope not.
Nice little footwork, though, to try and tiptoe back in there, but the official is right on the play. And a timeout is taken by Kentucky to stop the clock. Next week, the Gators back on the road in the Southeastern Conference against a very much improved Alabama football team. You've got Brody Croyle back healthy this year, and one of the top running backs in the SEC in Kenneth Darby. And this Alabama team is also a very strong defensive football team. That they're going to be a severe challenge for the Gators next week up in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they're a good football team. Not only do they have Kenneth Darby, they also have 3 very good receivers that are averaging about 19 to 20 yards per catch. And then defensively, they're led by their linebackers, Juan Simpson and D'Amico Ryan, the 2 outside linebackers, and the free safety, Roman Harper. You know, this is a football team that's #1 in the SEC versus the run and #2 in total defense behind the Florida Gators defense. So a very good football team next week up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Could be a similar type of game as the one we saw in Gainesville against Tennessee. 2 good rush defense teams. A couple of teams with experienced, talented quarterbacks and good running backs. Well, that's next week on Breakfast with the Gators from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That was a Florida timeout. The Gators had, I think they had too many people on the field, so they had to take time out to straighten everything out, get organized. On a blitz, Seiler up the middle, and the tackle made by Reggie Nelson. Nelson got his knee or leg tangled up back there, and hopefully he's all right. Seiler and Nelson came with a blitz, and it was Nelson that made the sack.
Well, David, they came from both sides, and there was nowhere for Curtis Pulley to pull this ball and run with. He saw pressure right away, and you got pressure from the left, pressure from the right. Nice job by Reggie Nelson getting in there, making the short tackle. Coming right up the middle, Brandon Seiler. Reggie Nelson getting the sack. It looked like Reggie Nelson got his leg stepped on after he got the sack.
Well, Florida is going to get the victory. There's not much doubt about that. There's only 2:03 left. Kentucky trying to cut it to a 2-touchdown game. But it has been a struggle in the second half for the Gators. Let's take a look at the play of the game. Brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Glenn Hope thinks he's got a reception there, and a nice job by Reggie Lewis at coming in there, putting that shoulder right in the chest, knocks the ball up. Tony Joyner intercepts it, runs it down, giving the Gators the football inside the 10-yard line. Outstanding defensive play.
And that was one of 3 Florida interceptions today. And maybe they'll get one more before all is over with, as freshman quarterback Curtis Pulley is trying to put the Wildcats into the end zone. They've scored 3 second-half touchdowns to 0 for the Gators. Florida's #1 defense trying to shut the door. On the option, the toss to Little. Boy, running east and west in Florida's #1 defensive unit. Too quick to the scene there as Brandon Seiler and D. Webb combine on the tackle. It'll be 4th down for Kentucky.
And a nice job by D. Webb of keeping the runner in bounds. Fighting off the would-be block and making the tackle, keeping him in bounds to keep the clock running.
So it's 4th and goal. Wildcats have to take a shot at the end zone. They're 12 yards away. Incomplete. Florida takes the ball with the clock stopped at 1:16 remaining.
Well, David, you bring back your starters on defense, and they were able to shut them down, but not before they moved the ball down the field with some success. But once they got inside the red zone, the defense stiffened and shut them out.
Well, Wildcat fans that are still here at least saw Rich Brooks' team fight in the second half of the game. That's what the big rap on the ball club was last week, that they didn't seem to have much energy, enthusiasm, and sort of lackluster in the first half here today. But the Gators were really sharp after they got their offensive game in gear in the first half, Nat. And I think it was as much a combination of Florida's offensive effectiveness as it was Kentucky struggling on defense in the first half. But Urban Meyer's got an entirely different situation to talk about with his team in the second half of this game.
Well, and sometimes things like that are good to happen because, you know, you come in here, you score 7 straight touchdowns after not scoring or not moving the ball on your first possession. You start to get a little cocky. You start to think that, you know what, when we go to Alabama, it's going to be that way. No, it's not going to be that way. And it shows you that if you're not ready to play for 60 minutes, anything can happen, how a game could turn around.
Good lesson learned as Leak downs it. And the Wildcats have no timeouts left. And Florida will not have to take another snap. So Urban Meyer scores a road victory in his first opportunity on the road in the Southeastern Conference against Rich Brooks' Kentucky Wildcats. Nat, mixed bag today in Lexington, no question.
Extremely mixed bag. First half couldn't be any better unless you take away the block punt. And the second half, you know, a total collapse offensively, defensively, as well as special teams. So, you know, somehow or another, the same team didn't show up coming out of the locker room for the second half.
I'm sure that's what Urban Meyer is going to say when this one is over with. You win as a team, you lose as a team, no pointing of fingers. This Florida team has to play more consistent for an entire 4 quarters of football, and they'll get a chance next week as Breakfast with the Gators comes to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Gators will take on the Crimson Tide. A lot of good stuff here today against the Kentucky Wildcats, but much to work on before the Gators take the field in Tuscaloosa against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Stay tuned next for Florida football with head coach Urban Meyer, and we'll see you next week from Tuscaloosa on Breakfast with the Gators. Steve Babick and for Nat Moore and our great Sun Sports crew here in Lexington today. I'm David Steele. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.